All right, we're gonna give this a shot. Oh, let me do this real quick, actually. What to do? Okay. I'm just gonna dive right in. Make sure that everything can. Oh, that's right. Shoot. I forgot to do that. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Why? Okay. Is everybody ready? Does anybody need to go do anything before we get started?
I'm good.
We're good.
You guys are good?
Yeah.
As good as we can get.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, it's definitely not exactly how I was hoping things would go, but it's okay. We're gonna make things work. All right. I think. Let me make sure that this is. Also, this is the first time I've used this program, so I'm like a little nervous that everything's not gonna work. So I apologize if things get a little janky.
What do you mean the first time you did it? I watched this stream where you were doing it, and that was the first time you used it.
That was the first time I was DMing. This is the first time I've used this software before, like with like players. So, okay. But first off, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. It means so much to me that you guys, first off, want to play, but second, we're able to pull together kind of last minute. So thank you guys for that. Okay, well, we're just gonna dive right in real quick. So the first thing we're gonna do is, I'm going to do some world building for you. So Shadow and Dragon already know the world that this takes place in, but the world that this takes place in is the world, excuse me, of A'Daleia. It is a continent that is adrift in the sea, far to the southwest of the continents of the known continents of Exandria. Actually, let me see if I can. I didn't add this. So let me add you guys an image real quick that you guys can actually look at. No, I just want to add an item. Why? No, journal. There we go. See, I'm learning new things. Thankfully, most of this stuff happens pretty quick if I need it to. Cool.
So do I need to be looking at screen?
Nope, I'm going to show you guys. No, I'm showing it to you guys right now. So now you guys now you guys can see.
Excellent.
Yep, that is the world map. This is the continent in which you guys are currently located. This continent is full of. Okay, sorry about that. I had to fix some stream stuff. Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, it is here in the continent of A'Daleia that we find ourselves this evening. The continent, as I said, is made up of all sorts of biomes. You guys are in the Emmeraine Forest. And as I was saying, each one of you has made a name for yourselves, either by being unknown or being known. But you guys have found in your travels that there has been a poster that you found on the wall of either a tavern. You found it in a back alley. The poster looks like this. This poster you guys found on a wall somewhere. Unfortunately, it's not showing up well for stream. That's fine. The poster says, urgent aid requested, calling all witch hunters, adventure seekers, brave champions, holy warriors, demon slayers, vampire hunters, bounty hunters, eager parties. The village of Witherbrook urgently calls for aid from heroes and champions alike. We require your aid at the Witherbrook Bridge in the Emmeraine Forest, post haste to hunt down the demon of Dreadthorn, with a reward mentioned but no details stated. Each one of you has made your way throughout the forest, trekking in the direction of the Emmeraine Forest into what you believe might be the area that it's speaking of, but you've never been to this particular bridge before. As you guys are trekking through the darkness of the forest, and you get deeper and deeper in the direction that you believe you're supposed to be headed, the fog starts to get a little bit thicker. The tree cover starts to get a little bit more dense, and you realize, even though it's basically the middle of the day, it's getting darker, and it realize it's feeling almost night-like. And the deeper you get, the more dark it gets, and suddenly you realize it's basically nighttime, but you definitively know it is the middle of the day. And you find yourselves coming upon a wooden covered bridge in the middle of the forest. And this bridge seems old, it seems dilapidated, it seems forgotten. It seems like it should have crumbled years ago, but it's here that all of you start to see one another, and you realize you aren't the only one who saw this poster. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go through the group, and you guys are going to briefly describe your guys' visual appearance. Don't get too much into the weeds on their personality per se, just basically what you think somebody else would glean from them by seeing them at a first glance in this sort of environment. So I'm going to go down the list, starting with Sherry. You're the first on my player list. So can you please tell us your character's name, and describe for us and the rest of the party what they see when you walk up on this bridge.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. I am Shirakawa. I am a wooden elf. I'm about 5'8", so I'm very tall. I'm not totally muscular, but you can tell that I have had some training. I have long white hair. The kind of look I have is that I'm calm and collected, but you can tell there's definitely something hidden there to where you don't want to mess with me because you don't quite know what I would do. It's a little bit of mystery there, like a typical elf. I'm a cleric, a druid, and considered a wooden elf, so I'm more in tune with nature.
Okay. Fantastic. Next on the list is Emmeraine. Can you describe what we see with your character?
Emmeraine is a female high elf, slender body. She's not alone. With her is a young winged drake. Kind of sits beside her. But what most you will see is her hood is up and her eyes are covered with a cloth, awfully thick. Her bow is strung on her back. She's leaning against one of the pillars of the bridge.
Fantastic. Next on the list, Shadow, can you please describe your character for us?
So, Ovidia definitely stands out. The first thing you would notice is that she has a Plague Doctor mask on, as well as a hat. You can see that the mask is a black color as well as the hat. You can also see her hair, which is also black. One thing you can see, though, is that out of her left goggle, you can see a purplish, glow. As for the rest of her outfit, she wears a almost close to a trench coat. She has some armor attached to the trench coat, not much though. She's wearing a white undershirt and then black pants with some boots. As for height, she's on the shorter side. She's 5'7". You can see she's a pretty slender person. She's not super strong. She's pretty slender. If anything, her jacket and all of that gives her a little bit more of a bulk look to her. And she's just kind of standing there, her hands in front of her, with her fingers together, kind of like in a triangle shape, pointed towards the ground. So,
Fantastic. Next up is Vashti. Sparrow, can you describe Vashti for us?
Yes, Vashti is a light blue dragonborn. She does not want ever to be compared to tieflings, just to get that out in the open. She may look kind of mean, but that's just her face. That's just her resting face. She's actually very jovial. She's an introvert, but she has plenty of extroverted tendencies, and she has big, thick horns that she likes to wrap ribbons around, kind of showing her youthful side. She is a few years older than a full-grown dragonborn, which is the age of 15. She is 19. So she's been out and about. She's very well-traveled. She just wears a simple sleeveless tunic with light leather armor. She carries her trusty knapsacks on her hips as well. She's pretty darn muscular. She can toss aside a few tables if she needs to, but and she wears tassels as earrings. She enjoys a good hunt, a good adventure. As long as she's not bored, she is totally in it. She is a true neutral for the most part, or a neutral good for the most part. But yeah, any kind of fun she can have alongside her friends, she is there. And she stands kind of a little bit, she's intrigued by the adventure, but she doesn't really want to go in the dark at the moment, so she's just kind of hanging out, sitting on the fence right now.
Okay.
Literally.
And then last up, we have Zarlas. James, can you describe Zarlas for us?
Yeah, so Zarlas kind of is easy to miss. He stands 5'4", sandy brown hair. Kind of looks like he's been through the ringer a little bit. He is very light. Not quite sure if you'd be able to see what his weight would be, but obviously he does not look like a bruiser. Dark clothes and got a bow with arrows on his back, rapier across his waist.
Wonderful. So as you guys have seen, you guys have now identified that there's 5 of you, and it's not just going to be a single show on this hunt for this creature that you've read about, which means you're going to have to split a reward, but it also means you might have somebody who's going to be there to have your back if things go sideways. So as you've arrived at this bridge and you start to make eye contact with one another, and maybe there's subtle nods of acknowledgement of I see you, or okay, they look like they can handle themselves, you realize this bridge is empty. There's nobody here, but this poster specifically said bridge. And you're looking around, and it's almost silent in this area. There's the occasional sound of maybe a bird in the background, wind rustling through the trees, but nothing more than that. And all of a sudden you start to hear the shuffle of feet, and from underneath the bridge you hear the sound of what feels like someone walking, but it doesn't feel like it's like heavy footsteps or big footsteps. They feel smaller. And out from underneath the bridge, you guys see this individual approaching you. A dwarvish figure, obviously dwarvish height, with big gray beard, tattered earth tone clothes with leather wrappings, with what seems to be foliage growing almost off of him or off of the clothing. Leather wraps for like on his sandals, with a crooked cane covered in knots and divots, clearly made from flora. He approaches you, and you realize that his eyes are almost frosted. Like he's looking at you, but his eyes don't look like they're looking at you. And he looks up, and who would be the first person that would Adam, I'll let you guys say. Who would be the closest as he would approach? He'd be approaching from the side of the bridge and be kind of coming up underneath it and around a little hill onto the roof. Would anyone be like, oh, I'm closest to him?
That's the left side of the bridge.
I'd say the right. Also, looking at this image, he's coming from the right.
The video would be pretty close. She'd be standing on the right side, not leaning on the fence, but standing next to it.
I'm glad Jesse said something. There we go. Okay. So, Ovidia, you hear from behind you this individual approaching, and as you turn and you look straight and realize there's nothing there, and then look down and see this individual, he looks up and he says, "Well, you're an interesting one," and he kind of pokes you a little bit with the end of his cane. Not like attacking, but almost like, oh, I'm acknowledging you, but you're kind of interesting looking.
She would, upon getting poked, Ovidia would take a step back and, where does he poke her?
Just kind of like, for him, it'd probably be like waist height, because he's not much taller than that.
So she would take a step back and brush off where she just got poked before going back to look at him.
Okay. He stops, plants his staff again, and he kind of looks around and says, I gather you're the ones looking for the bounty, yes?
What? Are you going to ask what your favorite color is in order to cross the bridge? Get it? You know the reference?
He squints, and his look, even though his eyes are almost glossed over or fogged over, his look burns through you. Like you almost feel uncomfortable by the way he looks at you. I've heard that joke too many times. And he like shakes as he says it. And he looks around at the rest of you and says, well, the bounty you're after is careful you must be. The creatures in this world are terrifying. They are evil. They are cursed. And as he says that, you see him white knuckle the staff that he was gripping.
I'm sorry. Maybe I speak for everyone here, but I barely understood a word of that.
He coughs a bit. Careful you must be.
Okay.
You'll head on into town, and you'll learn what you need. And his little crooked finger points down through the bridge, off in the distance, which it's just fog at this point. You can't see, but he points across the bridge in the direction of where he's indicating.
Ovidia would look in that direction and be like, "There's a town down there."
What's left of one, yes. It's not really a town at this point, but Witherbrook was once a thriving little village, and now it's more or less a grave.
What happened?
And as he says that, he gripped, both hands grip the staff, and he just kind of like is gripping it back and forth, and he kind of glances up. No one really knows or understands, or at least any who do haven't said. But off with you. Best of luck. And he kind of hobbles back down underneath the bridge, or he starts to walk away towards the bridge, I should say. Okay, it looks like Zarlas is headed through the bridge. Are you guys gonna? Is everyone gonna follow? Does anyone want to try to stop the individual you just met, or?
Wait, how do you know he's moving through the bridge?
He typed in chat.
Ovidia would give out a sigh, kind of like she's annoyed at the vagueness, and she would shout back at him, "Do you have any more helpful information?"
He stops and he turns. Yes. And he sighs. He stops for a second, takes a deep breath, and what The monster that you seek will test every fiber of who you are and what you can do. If the rumors are true, I doubt any of you will even survive. But should you, bully through, I guess. And as he turns to walk away, all of you actually, can I get? Okay, this is a perfect opportunity for this. So I want to get a perception check from everybody. Give me 1 second here. I think. Here we go. Request roll, and I'm going to.
Are you looking at chat log?
I'm looking at Discord.
Yeah, but over at the chat log where there's 2 bubbles, up in the top right.
Thought I was in here.
Oh wait, I just tokens. Okay, that's.
Where it was like everyone was doing like rolls.
Oh no, I was looking at Discord.
Okay.
You're actually part of that.
I went through and typed because I don't want to say it. You don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why this is working. Okay, I was going to try to request it, but okay, what we're going to do is I want you guys all to put up your character sheets, go to the first tab, and you'll have an option. Well, you'll see your perception and your skills. I want all of you guys to roll me a perception check, which means, so in the skills section, find perception, just click it once, click normal, and it'll roll in the chat.
Ouch.
Mine's a bigger ouch.
Yeah, Ovidia's is an ouch. Yeah, the rest of them aren't ouches, but Ovidia's is an ouch. Man, your curse of the bad dice have followed you here.
I know. I can't get rid of it. It's every single D&D session.
I'm waiting for one more roll from Sharandria.
Yep. Where do I roll?
So all you got to do is in your character sheet, just click the word perception.
So pull up your character.
So another good
Go to
tip
perception.
for all of you guys, if you double click the top of your character sheet, it will minimize it onto your page so you don't have to keep closing and opening it.
Oh.
Yep.
That's helpful.
Yep. So you guys can just double click that, it'll minimize, and then you can double click it again and it'll open.
Double clicking what?
Hold on. Very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
I can close my character.
And I'm sorry, what do I double click again?
If you double click the very top of your character sheet, like as if like it's the top of a browser or something, it'll minimize and it'll snap to a little tiny bar on your screen, so you don't have to keep opening and closing it.
Ah, nice.
Neon. Oh, never mind, you saw it.
Yep, I saw it. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. Okay, there we go. So, all of you except Ovidia. Ovidia is just... You are just pissed off at this old dwarf that just is being vague with you and walking away. So you're just, like, focused on that. But the rest of you guys, you notice the scent of soot and cinder and ash in the air. Like, you just all of a sudden smell something, like, it feels like something... Like, you don't smell smoke. You don't see fire. But it smells like something's burning, or something has burned, or something has just burned. And this is happening as the dwarf kind of disappears underneath the bridge. Does anyone follow the dwarf? Does anyone do anything after him?
You know what? Since Ovidia is so infatuated at being pissed off at him, she's gonna kind of hop over the fence and kind of follow him.
Okay.
And she's going to, as she follows and she gets closer, she's going to start shouting at him again, being like, I need something more helpful.
So, as you hopped over the fence, he disappeared underneath the bridge. And as you yell this out, no response comes. And as you round the corner of, like, coming down the hill to go under the bridge, he's not there. He's gone. All that's left under the bridge. All that's left under the bridge is this layer of mist that is intermingling with the fog and just kind of drifting around.
Would there be any other remnants, or not remnants, but would there be any other, like, yeah, I guess remnants of, for lack of a better word, of where he went or anything like that?
Roll me an investigation check.
I already did.
Oh, oh snap. Okay, so I assume
I've
Zarlas
been waiting for you to notice that I went through and rolled that.
Oh my gosh, with a 20. Okay, so the two of you, Zarlas, I assume at this point, kind of, you heard Ovidia yell, you stopped and kind of looked over the bridge to see this going on. The two of you, with your investigation check, are able to clearly see his footprints in the soft earth going down the hill and turning to go under the bridge. And then from your viewpoint, Ovidia, you see these footprints just, like, they just end. They go under the bridge, and then there's nothing after them. There's just, they just stop.
Do they end where, like, the mist is intermingling, or do they end before?
They where the mist kind of, like, starts to gather is where the footprints end.
Okay, she's gonna stick her hand in it and start waving it around.
Okay, it's mist. It scatters as you wave it. Like, it does what mist does.
Alright. She'd be thoroughly pissed off as she's waving her hand around, FYI.
I need to come up with a homebrew rule for, you know how there's exhaustion points? I need to have anger points, where, like, I can apply anger points to characters, and it affects their gameplay with how angry they get.
So, what does Zaris find out?
So from where you were on top of the bridge, did you follow Ovidia, or did you stay on top of the bridge? Because I know originally you were walking over the bridge.
Well, it depends on you telling me, GM. I have a pretty decent stride and walking speed. I figured I was on the other side of the bridge,
okay,
so I would be looking from the other side.
Okay, then you would have seen the same thing. You'd be able to, from your vision with that great of a roll, you would have seen the footprints that Ovidia was following, and you'd see them go into the mist and then vanish. Like, the mist begins and the footprints vanish.
You'd also see her waving her arm around like a maniac.
Yeah, across this very dry, empty creek bed, you see Ovidia with her big Plague Doctor mask and hat, just frantically waving her hand in the mist under the bridge.
Now, would I be able to smell the mist to see if there's a certain scent of a plant or a certain tree that might be in around this bridge?
Based on, because of your perception roll from earlier, all you can smell right now, your nostrils, even with you being a wood elf, especially with your keen like sensory abilities, you are, like, all you can smell is like the scent of like a something burning, like a mixture of, like, the scent of, like, a bonfire mixed with almost a sulfuric smell, like not sulfuric but sulfur.
As she leans over the side of the fence and she kind of cocks her head watching a video. She just stands there for a moment. She goes, "Excuse me, friend, but I don't mean to pry, but are you trying to cast a spell?"
She would stop waving her hand, and I'm trying to think of the best way to. She would stop waving her hand, and then she would just stare where her hand was for a second, and then she would slowly just start turning her head to look back at you. And she would give a like a snarky little comment of, "Yes, I'm trying to make you disappear."
Ooh, spicy.
I turn and walk away, heading towards the village.
Okay, so Zarlas turns and goes back up the hill onto the very beaten dirt path and starts to walk away from you. Ovidia is obviously upset. At this point, it's clear that whoever you were just speaking to seems to have vanished. And in the distance, you hear what you fully believe is the sound of hooves of a horse galloping.
Would only the people that have crossed the bridge hear this?
No, all of you guys would hear this. Oh, I'm trying to.
Is it coming toward us, past us, or away from us?
You can't tell.
Oh, come on. I'll roll a perception, whether it's coming from the village or not.
Okay, go ahead. All right, if you guys want to figure out which direction, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
I don't want to be
Ready?
embarrassed again by the dice.
Oh my gosh, that perception. What is this?
Wait.
It's my die.
Oh, I'm sorry, Emmeraine. I'm sorry, Emmeraine. You would have advantage on this.
Would I?
Yes, Emmeraine, you would have advantage on this because this is auditory.
Oh, right. My
Yes,
eyes
yep.
are...
Yes, because your eyes. I completely forgot. I apologize. There you go.
No, that's a lot better.
That's a lot better. Okay. So all of you, by the look of this, you realize that the sound, it's not going away and it's not coming towards you. It sounds like it's around you, like it's circling you.
Does it sound like it's more than one horse?
No, sounds like it's one horse.
Fast, slow, or steady speed for a horse?
If you can hear it, it's exactly how it sounds in game. Sounds like a gallop or a trot. I guess I'm not really sure. I'm not familiar. I'm not a horse guy, so I don't know the exact words. But
I think he's going the. This is.
Vashti just grinned all her teeth, and she's just like, Vashti's just like, I have heard of the headless horse. She's a little bit nervous. I've heard of the headless horseman, but never the invisible horseman, right?
Ovidia would be climbing back up the hill, back onto the path, and she wouldn't be able to see it because of her mask, but she'd be rolling her eyes a little bit and giving like a kind of a silent sigh that you wouldn't be able to fully hear because of her mask.
so it'd be like,
Yeah, as she passes and vaults back over the fence.
the sound fades as you vault over the fence, and all of you at the same moment kind of realize the sound is gone, and the mist has dissipated at this point, but the fog is still around, and all you can really remember is all you know is what the direction that the cryptic little dwarf pointed you in.
I'm gonna place my hand on my drake's head,
Mhm.
almost like we're having a complete conversation because we're staring at each other's in each other's faces. And I'm gonna nod, almost like answering the dragon, and we're just gonna walk towards the way the dwarf pointed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start walking slowly toward that way too. But I'm gonna be toward the back of everybody.
Okay, so it sounds like most of you are headed toward. I know Zarles was already headed that way a minute ago. Are you guys all headed towards the village now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm gonna be toward the back, and I'm gonna be looking behind us while we're walking.
Okay, cool. Hang on. What's your passive perception? Why can't I not see that? That's really annoying. Oh wait, I know how to see it. Hold on. 18. Okay, cool. So you guys start making your way through the fog and the darkness that is just eerie at this point, because when you started your adventure into the wood, it was daytime, and now, and not that much time has passed, it's now dark, and the light that's coming from above feels like moonlight. Something going on with the canopy above feels like you're walking in a dimly lit moonlit night, and you're making way forward on this very trodden dirt road that also looks like it hasn't been used in a while. With your passive perception, Chandria, you would recognize that the sound is faded. You're no longer hearing the sound of a horse, but you would notice, based on just immediate perception, that the road you're walking on doesn't have a lot of like recent wear. Like, you're not seeing wagon tracks, you're not seeing hoof prints, you're not seeing footprints. You're just seeing a road that has the divots from probably a lot of travel from before, but nothing that looks fresh. It looks like this road is untrodden. And as you make your way forward and you begin to trek further, the fog obviously is obscuring your vision very far. But after not too long, after just a couple of minutes of walking, you find yourself coming upon this town. Well, maybe one could call it a town, that is tucked underneath all of these heavy, dense trees deep in the forest, and the buildings look old. They look like they're not well kept. They look like some of them look completely abandoned or falling apart. There's a couple of people that are milling about or walking to and fro, but every single person that you witness in this town, first off, not many, maybe a dozen, if that, at first glance, maybe probably less than a dozen. All have that air about them of get to where they're going quickly, don't make too much of a scene, like just that kind of very quick shuffle. One of which, a young woman with with what appears to be a boy, probably maybe 8 or 9 years old. She's wrapping a little cloak around him, and she looks up at one of you and makes eye contact, and she sees Ovidia's mask, and you see her visibly recoil, grabs her boy, turns him, and they both shuffle on into one of the houses that, quite honestly, had you looked at first glance, didn't look livable. And the door slams behind you.
Nvidia wouldn't bother with it just because she's used to people being weirded out by her look.
Okay. Zarlas, what's the stealth check for? Oh, okay. Okay. So as you continue on into the town, you are able to notice that the town is very, very, very small. It's maybe 10 buildings, probably 6 or so of which are actually look to be some livable standard. From where you're standing, you can clearly see pretty much the whole town. You can see that there is a tavern, or an inn, really, that is off to your left with a sign that's dangling from it. You can't read. There's no name on it or anything. It's just you can see the symbol that's commonly known for taverns that's hanging by one part of a rope. The other one is broken, and it's just kind of swinging in front of it, making a sort of creaking sound. Off to your front right, you can see that there's a shop that you can hear the sound of metal on metal, and it's immediately assumed that there's probably a blacksmith in that direction. Excuse me. And then in the distance, straight ahead of you, not really distance, but straight ahead of you, right at the edge of your vision with the fog, you can see the building that appears to be some sort of church, temple, religious building. The rest of the buildings are all either closed up or dilapidated or just look thoroughly uninviting. It's here that this is where the dwarf told you to go. What would you guys like to do?
I think I'm gonna look in the window of the tavern.
Of the tavern?
Yeah, let's see if there's anybody in there.
Okay.
I'll join her.
Okay. Give me a second here.
But I'm gonna try to be as quiet as possible while I do it.
Me too. Cher, how tall was your character supposed to be again?
5'8".
5'8". Okay, gotcha. You were taller than I thought. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, a very tall wood elf.
I like that.
Yeah, your horns probably, Vashti, would probably be about the same height as Sharandria's head, I would imagine.
Well, no, I would beg to differ. Apparently most dragonborns can be anywhere in between like 6 to 7 foot.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
6.
I was thinking. I'm sorry. We had several short characters in here. I forgot that you're 6'4". My apologies.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's
we're
my
a little
bad.
bit-
So
Hey,
you
that's
actually.
dragonborn.
Sorry. Yeah. No, you tower
Yeah,
over. You're the tallest in this group by far.
We're a little bit of a funny sight because not counting my horns, I'm already 6'4".
Yeah.
So I'm just like trying to slink along as close to her as possible without making much noise.
Yep.
And Vashti's just giddy about the whole situation. She's like, oh my goodness, so much mysterious. Oh my goodness. So she's excited.
So you
I
two.
have a dagger. One of the daggers that's on my waist, I discreetly have my hand on it too, just in case there's danger.
Okay. So the two of you approach the window of this tavern, and the window is just covered in some sort of that grime that just builds up over time out on outdoor windows. It's like a mixture of dust, dirt, and who knows what else. That's kind of sprinkled all over it and kind of building up in the corners, but you're able to kind of palm out a circle and look inside, and it is open. You can see that there's a fire burning in the fireplace off to the corner. There's a single individual. You can't make out male or female from this distance, but they have their back turned to you behind the counter there, and you can see one patron in the room that is at a table, but is like passed out drunk. Very loudly creaks open. The individual behind the bar turns to you, and it's now very clearly a woman. And her features look very familiar to you, sure, Andrea. She has very elf-like features like you do, but not pure elf like yourself. And she turns to you, and she has a look of a mixture of bewilderment and it's kind of a mixture of like she's surprised, but she's not. Like she's surprised that people have just entered, but she's also like, okay, well, I guess they would come here. And so her facial expression softens after a second, and she takes a half step forward and sets the tankard that she was cleaning back down on the counter, and is wiping her hands with a rag and says, well, what are you doing in these parts?
I just looked down at your character. How do you say your character's name again? I'm sorry.
Gerandria?
Gerandria. I just kind of look down at you, and then look back at her, and then say, well, perhaps you could help us.
Sorry. And then maybe I can ask in a nice way, have you seen any strangers come through here?
She stops rubbing. Her hands, like the motion of her rubbing her hands off with the towel slows as Vashti asks the question, and then Gerandria asks hers, and she kind of glances between the two of you. Well, I've not seen anyone come through in a while. You're the first in some time. And I'm sorry, what was your question? And she like arcs her neck to look like up, and realizes how tall you are now as you're entering. Did you guys enter the room, or did you guys still talking from the doorway?
I think we've taken a step in.
Yeah, I think we entered, but we're not actually in. We're still near the door in case we need to run.
Okay, so as you would have entered, Vashti, you would have had to very clearly duck a considerable distance to get under, because these doors were not built for 6'4" Dragonborn with horns on top of that. And so you had to duck pretty considerably. So as she's addressing you, she starts addressing you, and then when you come in the room and stand up straight and your full height is visual, she kind of stops mid-sentence and goes, well, you're a curious one. I've not seen one of your kinds. But, what was your question again, dear?
I've finally become a little bit more, how can I put it, aware of myself. And so I carefully try to sit down on one of the chairs, and my booty, of course, barely fits on it, so it just looks comical, like I'm sitting in a kiddie chair.
Roll me a D20, please, as you're doing that. Just roll me a straight. You can click the D20 button in the digital dice tray, and just roll me one D20. Okay, as you sit down, the chair breaks. Just underneath you. And this woman just, I'm running out of chairs.
And then finally, I kind of accept my fate, but I'm also itching to know what's going on. So I kind of try to put it back together, but then I just give up and sit down on the floor, and I just tell her. My demeanor just shifts to kind of match hers, and I'm like, what happened here?
I don't know the exact answer. I'm sorry, where are my manners? My name is Ilsande. I am the proprietor of, well, what's left of the Twisted Branch Inn. I apologize for its current state. What were your names, ladies? And she kind of glances between the two of you. While you guys are, real quick before you do that, when you say you want to, I'm going to pause for a second. When you say you want to stealth into the tavern, are you trying to sneak behind them, or like describe to me how Zarlis is trying to sneak his way into this tavern?
Well, I don't have a full deal. I'm trying to figure out this whole thing of the measurement controls. I guess the way the tavern is set
Well,
on the
don't
back
look
side.
at don't look at this exact image as the tavern. This is just a this is a representation to give you an idea of the vibe of the town. As far as the tavern building, if you're trying to get an idea of the tavern building is about double the size of one of these houses in this picture, and it's 2-story. On the front porchway where the two ladies walked up, there is a a single wooden door that they walked in. There is a double width window off to the right of that, and then on the left of it as well. And then past that window is the corner of the building, and it makes a left hand, it's standalone, it's not attached to anything, and it would go left around the left side of the building. And on that side there is the fireplace, and the chimney is built onto that side of the building. And then past the chimney there's another window. Then you hit the corner of the building, and it obviously makes it a right, and there's another window on the back side, and then it keeps going because it's much wider, and there's no more windows on that back side or the far right side, as that would be presumptively where the proprietor's quarters and kitchen might be, back in that area. And then obviously there's a second story as well that has windows all the way around it as well.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna go in behind and sneak behind them.
Sneak behind
Not
them?
gonna do that.
Okay. So Ilsande is very enamored by Vashti more than anything, so she doesn't see you sneak in, and the patron that's the only one that's in there is passed out drunk, so he doesn't see you. So you're able to get into the room unnoticed, more or less.
Okay.
And so Ilsande has just asked Vashti and Sharandria your guys' names, and she's just basically staring at Vashti. Do you guys answer and give her names?
Is she staring at her?
Sorry.
She's scared, or staring at her like she's just curious?
Curious.
She's asking me.
Yeah, curious and just fascinated. As she stated, she's never seen her kind. She's never seen a dragonborn before. To her, dragons were these big mythical creatures that would come in and burn everything up. She's never seen one in humanoid form before.
Okay, then I'm going to tell her my name is Andrea. I'm a wood elf, and this is my friend Vashti. I don't remember the dragonborn. We are not here to cause harm. We just are looking for some help. I was basically telling her my name, but also letting her know she doesn't have to be afraid of Vashti. That, you know, her size doesn't mean her demeanor.
Of course. Ilsande looks between you, well, it's lovely to meet you too, and who are your... And she kind of leans a bit to the right, and she kind of is trying to peek between the two of you. She doesn't see Zarlis because he kind of snuck in already, but he in the back, Ilsande sees Ovidia and... Or actually, let me ask, where are Ovidia and Emmeraine at this point? Are they still standing outside, or when they split off to the tavern, did you guys go somewhere else?
Ovidia is actually making her way to the church temple-like structure.
Okay.
And as she does, and she's passing by the people, she's taking a good look at them. Like, she's looking to see, you know, do they look healthy? Do they look sickly? Anything like that, as she makes her way towards the temple.
Okay. And where's Emmeraine? Is Emmeraine with Ovidia, or is Emmeraine somewhere else?
Emmeraine was following a video at first, but turned off to where the mother and child went, and is going to talk to them first.
Okay, sorry, I'm just making sure I had stuff going on. Okay, so Emmeraine's walking over towards the building. Now, granted, the mother and child, they slammed the door behind them, so the building is closed. It's not like you didn't hear any latches or anything, but they quickly scurried inside, and then you saw the door behind them. So you wander off that way. Ovidia, you wander off in the direction of the temple, which is further, kind of straight ahead of you, and it's kind of further on in the fog. And it's at this point that Ilsande sees the two of them and goes, "Well, I see your traveling companions are interested in something else, I suppose." And so while you're conversing with Ilsande, Emmeraine, you walk over to the other building. What do you do? Do you knock on the door? Do anything there?
Yes, I'm gonna knock on the door lightly, trying to make sure they don't perceive it as a threat. I'm just gonna wait for.
Okay, so no response.
She's gonna knock again, and as I do, I'm gonna call out, not in like a very loud voice, like yelling, but like hopefully enough for them to hear. It's all right. I just want to talk. I'm not here to hurt you.
Just you hear from inside. Just leave us alone, please. Just leave us alone. And you hear another door probably shutting.
I'm gonna let out a sigh, look down to Dyraxis, my dragon, and be like, well, let's keep following the doctor.
Okay, so you follow off to Avidia, and do you try to catch up to her pace, or do you just kind of make your way, your leisurely way in that direction?
It'd be like in between. I'm keeping up with the dragon, like Dyraxis' pace.
Okay. So you two make your way that direction towards the temple, and as you are approaching the building, you notice that there's an individual out front, and he's. As you get closer, you recognize this building is just as in the same state as everything else, but looks a little bit more kept, a little bit more put together, not as dilapidated. And you see an individual out front that is tending to some sort of flower garden. Just, well, not even just flowers, just plants, nature. There's a little garden with all different sorts of flora mixed throughout it. And he's just kind of tending to it on his hands and knees. And it seems very domestic for a town that does not feel like it's a normal place. And as you approach, he doesn't get up. He doesn't stop and turn. He just continues what he's doing. And his back is basically to you. And so as you guys are approaching him, we're going to quickly go back real quick. Elsende sees the two of them wander off towards the temple. Says, oh, well, I suppose they're going towards the temple. They'll meet, excuse me. They'll meet Father Hollow when they get there. You say you're needing help? I'm confused. And this is to Vashti and Sharandria.
Well,
Right.
we're looking for someone in particular. We're just kind of wondering if maybe you've seen anybody that you haven't seen before, or maybe doesn't live in this town, come through recently.
No, nothing as of recent. Anyone coming? No one comes to Witherbrook. It's too dangerous.
Why is it?
Go ahead.
Well, what makes it dangerous, if you don't mind me asking?
The demon. That's what makes it dangerous.
Have you-
See, we found the wanted poster. I'm needing help, which is why we asked.
That is right. We did send that out, didn't we? I forgot about
Yes.
that. Huh. And she looks like she's kind of looking off into the ceiling, kind of like, oh, that's like she's recalling some sort of memory that she completely forgotten about. Yes, sorry about that. I'm surprised that anyone even responded to it, to be honest. I wasn't expecting that. And she looks at you a little confused. With the town of Witherbrook, and she looks kind of confused and embarrassed. She's not really sure. I don't know how to say it. I do believe we are cursed, ladies. People can't travel here safely. People can't leave safely. The town is petrified, as you might have already seen. Something or someone is out there in the wood. I've never seen it myself, but I know people it's taken. It's killed. Is that this time that she's... Oh, go ahead.
So you're all trapped here?
Well, put it this way. Anyone who leaves Witherbrook is never seen or heard from again. Now, for a while, we assumed that meant that they were finding a better life somewhere, maybe in Hollow Glade to the north, or maybe one of the large cities to the west. But recently, people who wander out to gather or to hunt food have stumbled across remains, corpses and blood trails. And she starts to look a little pale as she says this, and starts to look a little discomforted by the news she's relaying. And it's at this point that because she's kind of looking away, she sees Zarlis over in the room, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you come in. How did I not see you come? Is there something I can help you with, good sir?"
No, I was just checking on things and wanting to gain some information as well.
Are you with? And she's kind of doing a little hand thing from the two ladies to you and back. It's like, are you with each other? Same group?
Many of us
Yes,
are wanting to help.
All right, understood. All right. No, that's good, I suppose. And she looks back over towards the ladies, and it's at this point, as she's kind of gathering herself, we kind of move back over. Ovidia and Emmeraine, as you guys are walking up to this temple, the individual that was pruning the little garden stands up, and it is a rather tall individual. It's, I would say, based on what I believe your guys' heights are, if I remember correctly. Yeah, would definitely be taller than you, and I believe would be taller than you. Yep. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm getting over being sick for several days. This individual stands up and is much taller than both of you by at least, I'd say, about probably close to a foot. And from the back, you see that this individual is wearing this large green cloak, cape-like vestment that is sashed around in front of him. But instead of it just being, cloth or clothing, it's also got plants like interwoven into it and a lot of greenery. It's very similar to the garbs you saw on the dwarf out front, but it's not the same. Like, it's obviously, you can look at these differences, but it's also kind of like, oh, that's kind of funny that two people have like vegetation as part of their accoutrement. And as he stands, you hear him dust his hands off, and then he turns around, and as he turns to you, you see this individual standing in front of you. And he obviously has a very big white beard as well, and he has very long pointed ears, and his skin is actually green. It didn't show up well in this image, I apologize, but his skin is actually green, and he doesn't have the staff with him currently, but he's wearing a green tunic with the leather sashes, and he's got these leather gauntlets, these bracers on his arms that have this very ornate imprint pattern on them. And then you notice also he only has one visible eye. It's a very poignant eye, whereas the other one is covered by a patch. But you notice at almost immediate glance, the patch is bark. It's tree bark that is made up the patch on his eye. And he looks down at both of you, and he kind of raises the eyebrow of his one good eye and says, "Well, what are you two doing in our fast town?" And he doesn't seem menacing. He just seems more inquisitive.
This is in the tavern, right?
No, this is the temple. This is Ovidia and Emmeraine have approached the temple and have met this individual. So this is he's speaking to the doctor and to Emmeraine.
Ovidia would look at him, and then she would look at the temple. And as a cleric, would she be able to recognize anything that's on the temple?
Perfect. Roll me a religion check. I've never actually asked him to roll a religion check before. I've never had to. It hasn't come up in any of my games yet. Okay.
Really?
No, actually, no. That's okay. This actually makes sense. So, you would not recognize the what's the word? The
architecture?
Thank you. The architecture that would signify which deity this is. It's something that you've never seen before. You would be able to notice it's nothing you've seen before. So it's not one of the prime gods. It's not one of the betrayer gods. It's something you've never seen before. It has a lot of very like all of the etchings on the side of the temple and match the same styles on his bracers. It looks like vines. It looks very like nature heavy. Like the closest thing you could assimilate this to be with a wild mother. You'd be able to closely make a simile that if you were at a Wild Mother temple, it would look very similar to this, but it's different. It's significantly different to the point where you know it's not the Wild Mother.
Okay. So, knowing this now, she would turn to the man and more politely than she said to the individual at the bridge, she would ask what his name is.
Well, I suppose I could introduce myself first. I am Father Grimdark Hollow, and he gives a slight little head bow. And as he does, you recognize, based on his presence, his mannerisms, and his skin color, that this is clearly a half-orc, based on the tone of his voice. And as he says that and smiles a bit, you see the teeth that are very much a half-orc smile. And he puts his hand on, his right hand on the palm of it, on the center of his chest, and he gives a slight bow as he introduces himself. And what would you two ladies' names be?
Ovidia would kind of give, not a full bow, but like a respectful one. Ovidia Flame.
It's a pleasure, Miss Flame. And you, my dear?
I'll glance down at my Drake first. Almost seeming like you could clearly see that there is a unspoken communication going between the two.
He would notice between the Drake and Emmeraine?
Emmeraine, yes.
Okay.
Before she tilts her head, I tilt my head, looking towards him.
Yeah.
Unsure how she sees because her eyes are covered.
Mm-hmm.
She nods her head in respect. Name's Emmeraine.
So, give me 1 second. There used to be a way I could do this. I know there's a way to do this. Doggone it. Okay, I thought I could whisper. So then just tell me, what did the Drake say to Emmeraine?
He pretty much said, "Be careful who you give your name to."
And as the Drake says this to Emmeraine, you hear a soft chuckle come from Father Hollow. Like at the exact same time.
Yeah, Dyraxis, the dragon, immediately, kind of like a cat getting startled, gets up. And he's not a small dragon; he's a medium-sized dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So think of it, toothless almost. Hunched up, like what the heck?
Yeah. And he chuckles again, and he softly takes his left hand to extend towards the Drake. Like it's clear he's going to try to pet the Drake, and it's very his entire demeanor is very soft. Like it's not threatening. Like all about this, he's just like, it's almost like he's happy to meet two individuals that he has not met before.
I'm gonna put my hand on Dyraxis' head, almost in a calming manner, and just, tell him psychologically, in our heads, let him.
And Father Hall comes over and just softly brushes the Drake's head twice and goes, "No need to fret, my little friend. It is a pleasure to meet both of you. And don't worry, I won't share your name with anyone that you don't wish me to." And he winks, which looks really funny considering he has one eye, so it looks like he just blinks at you.
Nice.
But you recognize he's winking, but it's like, it doesn't look like it. Well, either way, welcome to, and he looks up and then you see his expression changes. Welcome to Witherbrook, though it may be. What can I do for you?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Ovidia would look at him, and then he would respectfully point to the temple and just be like, I can't recognize who this temple belongs to.
Oh, and he turns and says, well, I don't suppose you would. Not many follow our ways, but... And as he turns and he kind of gestures towards the temple a bit, and he looks up, and you see a level of pride in his eye, single eye, as he turns. And he goes, this is for Our Lady Elwyn, Spirit of Verdant Harmony. She is akin to what some worship as the Wild Mother, but she is a sister to the Wild Mother. And he turns back, and as the name is mentioned, Because you have a very strong religious background, I won't make you roll for this, Ovidia, but you hear the name Elowen, Spirit of Verdant Harmony, and you recognize, I've heard this before. It comes back as like a distant memory. You didn't know it was actually a real religious following. But for you specifically, Emmeraine wouldn't know this, but Elowen would. I'm sorry, Ovidia would, that Elowen, Spirit of Verdant Harmony, is a very unrecognized demigod that is all about nature, like the Wild Mother, very similar. The rumor, what's the word?
Legend?
Thank you. The legend that would go around of that is she's always referred to as the Green Whisper, and that she is basically embodies the balance of nature, very similar to the Wild Mother, but is basically doesn't have full reign. You've heard that her power is limited, her dominion is limited, and you feel like maybe you found it essentially.
Okay.
And he has finished gesturing, turns back to the two of you and says, I am the sole and final caretaker of this temple and the final priest of her following. My predecessors were here before I was, and hopefully someone will be here after I am gone.
Ovidia looks at him. She's not someone that, cares for people, but out of respect, she does say, hopefully. And
he nods a little bit with respect.
And then she asks, out of curiosity, what happened to your predecessors?
He frowns again, and he kind of looks back up at the town. Well, quite honestly, pretty much the same thing that happened to all of them. And he kind of gestures out towards the very derelict town that just has a new wave of fog that's just drifting in. And it's at this point that he mentions that we're going to pan back out to the other group. And the last question that you guys had asked Ilsante was, what happened here? And she's been telling you that something is plaguing the town. And that something is keeping people from getting away from the town. And the last thing that they had seen out in the woods was people who supposedly had left, but are now there's being remains found, like items and whatnot that have been found out in the woods to indicate that these people did not make it to safety. And it's here that we return to the conversation. And she goes, she looks back, she kind of picks up the tankard that she was cleaning from before in her rag, and she's kind of staring at it and just softly cleaning a very already clean tankard. No one's really sure what is out there, but all we know is it won't let us leave, and it won't let help come. So you're the first help we've seen in quite some time.
Do you mind if I
Can you
ask
see this thing?
Oh, hold on, one at a time. Sure, Andrea, you first, because I heard you speak up first.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It happens in Discord. This happens all the time.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask you one more question? It's more for curiosity, so we can try to help you.
She shrugs. Well, all right.
Do you find the disappearances happen more at night or during the day? We've noticed there's been an unusual fog and mist appearing.
Well, it's funny you ask that. And she chuckles a bit. I can't remember what day feels like anymore. I know we obviously will go to sleep in what we perceive as the evening, but it's always dark like this now. We haven't seen actual daylight, and I don't even know how long. And then, Vashti, what was your question?
I don't remember now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, unfortunately,
That's all right.
it happens in Discord. It's hard because you can't see each other's visual cues for speaking. So, if you think of it, let me know.
It wasn't important, and it's all good.
Okay. Anyways, in answer to your question, however, Miss, what was your name again? Sharandra, that's the disappearances happen what I believe is night, when it is darker out than normal, and usually at either the edge of town or out in the woods. However, and she stops, and as she does, her skin gets a little bit paler, and she starts to look. She kind of has that gulp thing that they, where she's a little bit nervous. Because if you we're here to help. I recommend going outside. And she kind of points in the direction where it would be out the door and like to the front left, kind of towards where the blacksmith was. You should go over there and have a look. There's leftovers of the one time I'm aware that this thing came into town. It happened before, but this one I do remember. And Zarlas, from your position, you'd be able to look through the open door, and you'd be able to see the direction she's pointing, and you can just make out in the fog what looks to be a wagon that's kind of like cockeyed because it's missing a wheel is tucked into the mud, and you can see the corner of it from around a building from your angle.
Okay.
And then go ahead.
I do wish to ask her one more thing, which is the poster talked about help and reward.
She nods.
What are the specifics of the reward?
You'll have to speak to Father Harlow about that one. He was the driving force behind us sending out that poster. Most of us had all but given up hope of any aid ever coming to us. But he promised that there would in fact be some sort of reward for whatever bounty hunters, mercenaries, what have you, that would come to our aid.
Okay. I'll head out to investigate on the wagon, for lack of a better word, and see what I can find.
Okay, so as you two are standing there talking to Elsande, Zarlis gets up and walks outside. And then what do you two do?
I politely thank her for the information, and I walk behind him. I'm still holding my dagger this whole time, though, because I don't trust anything or anybody around me. But I'm following to find out what she's talking about.
Elsande nods in appreciation to you coming in, and well, I wish you all the luck, and may the gods be with you and keep you all safe on your journey. I shall send a prayer out for all of you. And she looks to Vashti, and she looks up, obviously. No, because you're sitting on the ground. She looks down at you, but then you see her eyes.
No, I stood up.
Oh, you stood up? So as you stand up, she's following you standing up, and you just see her neck crane back as you stand up. She goes, I don't believe you'll have any trouble, though, my dear. It looks like you'll be just fine.
I just laugh and I thank her, and I laugh softly, and then I start to turn, but just before I like duck to go out the door, I kind of turn slightly back, and I'm like, do you not have family?
Oh, my father is asleep in the back room, and my son is I do believe he is out tending the field behind here. The one plot our family has left to cultivate a little bit of food.
Oh, good. Not very tragic. And I wave goodbye.
And she kind of like raises an eyebrow and like looks up and is like, yeah, that's quite tragic, but all right, goodbye. And she looks very confused. So as you guys exit the tavern, Zarlas is already ahead of you, and he's walking across the road. Zarlas, basically, it's almost a straight diagonal shot from the doorway of the tavern across the main, like, for lack of a better term, square. It's basically just a big, open, wide area in the middle of town. And as you approach it, there's another road that kind of juts off the main area that goes off, and you can see it disappear into the fog in the direction of what you believe the wood would be. And there's a wagon. And Emmeraine, because you're not that far away, you would sense this. You'd sense, because obviously you're in a very different perception position than other people, and you would recognize that that your party companions are behind you, and they're now not in the tavern. It's up to you, Ovidia and Emmeraine, if you guys would look over and notice this, because it would be visually, you'd be able to visually see it from where you're at. But the three of you coming out of the tavern approach this wagon, and then so the other two. It's up to you if you guys would see this, but I'll tell you guys all. As you get closer and the fog starts to like dissipate a little bit as you get closer, it is a simple cargo style wagon. It's just a flat wagon with a bench seat up front, nothing fancy. It is missing the front left wheel, so it's tucked down in a cockeyed angle in the mud. The exterior of this wagon, it looks pretty beat up. There is sorry, I'm looking at my notes. It has singe marks all around the edge of it, as if it's been brushed by something extremely hot or by fire itself. Not completely set ablaze, but just singed all over it. There are actually, go ahead and roll me. Beyond that, roll me an investigation check. For the three of you that are approaching it, you can roll me an investigation check. And then, yeah, because the other two are too far away to investigate. I just need one from our Dragonborn friend.
Am I blue or orange for the dice?
I'm not sure. You can actually customize it if you want in between stuff here. If you go into the settings, you can actually change them.
Okay.
You'll get lost really quick because it's pretty fancy.
You have. You were the orange.
That was the orange. Okay.
What kind of roll do I need?
I need you to do me an investigation, please.
But all you need to do is click on the little chat area, and it'll show what it does all the working out for you.
Oh, okay. I don't even have that open. Okay.
You need to hold that open so you can see what it is.
Dragon, if Dariax is looking, can you roll me an investigation check as well, please? Because dragon eyes are obviously a very different situation. Roll me actually a disadvantage on that because you are not right on top of it.
You said investigation?
Yeah, at disadvantage, please.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Dariax sees them, but can't see much more than that. All right, well, all three of you rolled actually pretty well. So, Zarlas, you're getting there first, and with your investigation, you're seeing every detail of this shattered wagon. There are slash marks from some sort of bladed weapon scattered around the edge of it. You can still smell the cinder that's left on it from the singe marks. It's very clear that something has attacked this and then left it here. There is on the back of it, there is actual scorch marks from something ablaze striking it and scattering out. And then for Vashti and Sharandria, Vashti, you'd see all this as well. Your keen draconic eyes would be able to make out all these same details. Not to the same like degree, but you'd be able to tell what's going on here. Sharandria, you would definitely see all of the marks. And you wouldn't necessarily you didn't see the soot and cinder still embedded in all of the edges of it, but you see the marks. It's very clear that this wagon, all three of you, it's very clear something befell this wagon that was not good. While you guys are investigating this wagon, we're going to go ahead and pan back over to the temple. And Father Hollow is speaking to you, and at the same time that Dariax notices the three of them exit the tavern and walk, Father Hollow looks up and sees them, looks back at you and says, "Looks like your companions have found what I was going to show you two." And he nods in the direction of the wagon for the two of you to see.
Ovidia would look over in that direction, and she would then look back at him and be like, "What is it?"
That is the remnants of our demon's attack. I say our, because I'm fairly certain it's bound to this poor village.
You keep saying demon. Have you actually seen what it looks like?
He straightens up a bit and he kind of looks and says, "Well, to be fair with you, the demon was the name that the townsfolk gave it. The demon of Dread Thorn, as they call it. But in reality, I don't believe it's actually a demon. I believe that it is a cursed or evil entity that is somehow bound to this poor village. I have my theories."
She kind of puts her hand up to the bottom of her mask and kind of strokes the bottom of it like she's thinking.
If you want to know the legend, the myth, as the townsfolk might say, what I understand, and I have no way of knowing if any of this is actually real, the myth is that the demon of Dreadthorn, as they call it, was once a valiant knight of the Everlight, and a paladin of sorts. He was traveling through this part of the Emmeraine Forest, going through the Dreadthorn Wood, when he was befallen by some sort of powerful enemy that slay all his men and left him to die. Whether or not that's true, I have no way of knowing. There's never been remnants found of that caravan, but it's no idea. Legend has it that in his dying breath he cried out to the Everlight for aid. None came. He perished, left with nothing but betrayal in his heart. Now rumored that something or someone with necromantic abilities brought him back, thanks of some devil or fiend of some kind, who knows. And it's now plaguing the Dreadthorn Forest and is cursed to this area. But ghost stories are exactly that. The ghost stories. No one truly believes them, right?
Depends.
No, you're not there, Vashti. He's talking to. Yeah,
No?
yeah. He's talking to Ovidia and Emmeraine right now. You're within eyesight of each other, so like you would very clearly see, especially with your height, the two of them standing with this tall half-orc individual with these green vestments standing in front of the temple, not far from where you're at. But you wouldn't be able to hear him from here.
Okay, it's hard because I've only played tabletop.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's why I'm keeping everybody situated here.
Ovidia would look in the direction of the wagon, and she would start, walking in that direction, and she would kind of like motion for Emmeraine and I can't remember his name.
Dariax, the dragon?
Yeah, she would motion for them to follow if they wanted to, and she kind of makes her way over to the little wagon so she can take a look at it.
As you start to walk away, Father Hollow doesn't stop you or anything. In fact, actually, he almost like gestures like, yeah, go ahead, go look for yourself. Like his hand motions indicate he wants you to go look that way. Emmeraine and Dariax, do you guys follow Ovidia over to the wagon?
Before I do, Dirax is gonna kneel down, letting me on top of on his back.
Oh, he's that big. Okay, I didn't realize he was that big. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
as long as I'm a medium character, so I can ride him.
Okay. So is he like the size of a horse?
He's medium, so he's about.
I'm not familiar with mounts yet, so apologies.
Drakes are the weird ones for this. They can go from 4.5 to 8 feet.
Okay, so he's not massive, but he's big enough.
So
that you can ride
he's
him.
not.
Okay.
He cannot fly with me on his back yet.
Gotcha. Okay. So do you ride him over to the wagon?
As Dirax turns to follow, Emraine's gonna turn her head towards the father and be like, there are some truth in stories, no matter how far-fetched they really are.
As you say that, he grins, not like devilishly, but like I'm impressed, and he leans in and says, "You're a smart one, aren't you?
I had to be.
When you're done looking at the remnants of that, I have one piece of advice I wish to pass on, but I'll wait until you return." And he kind of leans back, it gives a nod and turns, goes back to tending his garden.
Then we'll be back.
And he nods as he's doing this motion. And so you guys wander over to the wagon, and it's at this point, all 5 of you are now together investigating this wagon. And very quickly, you're all able to kind of glean the same information that this wagon has been thrashed by some sort of bladed weapon. It smells of cinder and ash. The back of it looks like it's had some sort of something has struck it and spread out like burn marks and whatnot around it. Real quick though, I hate to do this, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. So you guys can think of how you want to investigate this further. I'm gonna run to the restroom and I'll be right back.
I make my work. Oh boy.
to the chat. Do you just put your question in there and hit enter? Okay, I'll wait till somebody comes back. I'm gonna start doing it this way, so I'm not talking to if they can actually let me be real things or not.
Well, and I don't know about for questions, but that's how like I put in stuff, and he's like, "Oh, Charlotte's doing this."
I might start doing that, so I don't feel like I'm talking, especially if someone else is talking about it. I just put it in here.
All right, I have returned. Okay. So is there anything that you guys want to specifically investigate or check out with this wagon?
Avidia is gonna take a close look at it and see if she can like see anything other than, you know, the obvious that it's been, you know, hit with a slashed weapon or a bladed weapon, it's been burned, things like that.
So I'm not gonna make you roll for this because it's very clear that the weapon itself is part of the cause. Like, it's very clear that the marks are like at the center, and then outside of it look like there's some sort of like mild burn or scorch around it. And also, as a verbal answer to Sharandria's inquiry, it does not look like it's moved recently. It's been here for a while.
Upon looking around it, does it look like there's any blood or skin or flesh or any remnants that a human or some sort of creature might have been harmed around it?
Harmed around it?
Harmed or
Oh, gotcha.
died?
So when you examine the ground around you, you notice that based on the age of how long this has been here, you can tell that whatever's around it's probably not going to be exact to what happened because time has passed, so people have walked past it and whatnot. But something that you notice is that there's hoof prints that are starting to fade, but they're it's very clearly visible that upside down U is all throughout this area in sort of just kind of a mixture and just kind of oh my gosh, words, just kind of a hodgepodge of the area. Like it's like something was in the area, but not like in a straight line.
Just as I can, based on my investigation roll of 24, is there any way for me to know, because it tells me I can discern the appearance from a wound, and again, if it's not a person, but I can go through and tell what kind of weapon dealt it, or determine the weakest point. So
I love that you are like, I can do this specific thing. I love that you're applying that. Yes, you said you rolled it. Where? I don't see the 24. Where'd you roll that? Oh,
go further back.
I see it. Yep, that was from before. My apologies. Good call. That's why I love chat logs. You are clearly able to tell based on your experience and your keen eye that some sort of large sword was responsible for the slash marks, and the scorch mark on the back is some sort of, not something that you've seen before, but you can clearly tell that some object struck a certain point and then shattered, exploded, broke apart, and fire was scattered in different directions and left sort of a, not like a blast mark like a bomb would make, but something in the similar pattern of some sort of like splattered effect, but mixed with some sort of fire.
Right, so it could have been like a fire sword.
No, these are two different marks. The one on the back is clearly different than the ones on the sides. The ones on the sides is clearly a sword. The one on the back is a different kind of mark entirely. That's the one that looks like something hit it when...
Okay.
Yeah.
Could have been A fire spell or something else. Okay.
Yep, that you could clearly tell it's some sort of object of some kind hit this, whether magical or non, and then fire was kind of scattered in various directions.
Thank.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I said thank you.
Oh, sorry. I thought I heard Cher say something. Does anyone else have any investigative questions about the wagon? I don't want to
Yeah,
cut you off. So.
rolled an investigation of 7.
You roll investigation of 7?
Yeah.
You can tell that this is a very destroyed wagon. I'm kidding. Because you already rolled an investigation check when you guys first rolled up onto it, and your roll was better than that. It was a 14 before. So you're able to tell this wagon was attacked by some sort of a bladed weapon, presumably a sword based on the size, and it looks like someone tried to maybe light it on fire of some kind, but it didn't take or whatever, and that in the chaos, the wheel was broken and it was left here.
Not my question.
Okay.
Looking at the plant life around it, the trees, plants, anything like that, does it look like they were burned as well, or does it look like anything damaged that was permanent? Like sometimes, dead trees can last for years.
Sure. Well, where it's located, it's kind of actually in town, so there's not a lot of foliage around it. However, there is some like patches of grass and whatnot that are intermingled with the ground, and you can tell that around this point, all of anywhere that might be grass is all dead. And it appears like it was like burnt. Like it doesn't appear that like it just died naturally or died because of something like poisoning it. It looks like it was singed or it was burnt away. But there's not a lot of foliage around where you're currently located because you are technically still in the village.
Okay.
So it's at this point, as you guys are investigating this, and if anyone else wants to investigate, please just go ahead and like, and say something, and I'll stop. But you guys notice that an individual is slowly approaching, and this Avidia and Emmeraine, it's Father Hollow. He's approaching from behind. But for the three of you who have not seen him yet, a large half-orc individual who towers over almost all of you, except Vashti. He's about your height. He's actually probably a tiny bit shorter than you, definitely shorter than your horns. Approaches, and he's this very large individual. And just as a reminder, in case any of you guys forgot what he looked like, because some of you did not meet him, right there. That's what he looks like. And so he's approaching you, and he's got his hands like gracefully tucked behind his back, and they're under his cloak. And he walks up. Well, you found the remnants of monsters' doings. But if you're looking for more information and you really wish to seek this individual or thing, he looks off down the road away from where the wagon is, that leads off to the north part of the village, out of not the way you came in, a different direction. It leads further into the wood. He looks that way and says, "You'll want to go that way. However, I warn you, the last individuals that went that way, we found them deceased, obviously, and then anyone else went that way was never seen again. But if you go that way, any points, you'll find yourself deeper into the wood. Beyond that, there's an ancient temple way out. It's long since been destroyed, but the rumors and whispers of this creature is that it lingers around this area. Something within it almost tethers it to that area inside the wood. I would recommend starting there. But I would warn you, if this individual, and he looks to Emmeraine and Ovidia because he told you the story, he says, if this individual is, as they say, necromantically brought back, if it is what I think, there is a physical object that is tying it to this realm. There's something physical that gives it its power and its protection. I would highly encourage you find whatever this is first. Otherwise, if you are able to slay it, it will just come back shortly after. It won't leave this realm. It will stay here.
So I bring up our little, for lack of a better word, companion from the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and ask Father if he knows anything about this
The little
individual who smelt of fire and disappeared.
So you describe the dwarven creature to him, and he kind of chuckles and goes, "No, that is Thorin. He is he's the resident hermit. He likes to spook travelers. You say he smelled of cinder?
Yes.
That's odd. Are you sure it was him? Or did you just smell it when he was around? And he actually looks at like he's squinting a little bit with his one good eye, and he's like kind of leaning in a little bit. He looks genuinely curious about what you're saying.
Well, we smelt it when he was there, and then as soon as he left and disappeared as he walked under the bridge, we also heard a horse's hoof, like not galloping but trotting.
So as you mention that, his eye gets big and his eyebrows go up, and he leans back and says, "You heard hoof prints, like hoofbeats."
Yes.
That was not foreign, my friend. And he kind of glances around a bit. It's getting closer, I presume. No, that is not from Thorin. Thorin is harmless, and in fact helps keep the townsfolk calm, knowing that there's someone out there watching. But the fact that you smelled cinder and heard hoofbeats and nothing more is surprising. And he just says it, and he looks genuinely like he looks genuinely surprised with that information.
Well, Father, our tavern keeper mentioned that we should ask you about the reward mentioned in the wanted poster.
Yes. I have acquired some items and some valuables that I'm sure men and women such as yourselves who are willing to put themselves in harm's way for whatever reasons you may have, it would be quite worth your time. And he pulls out he like reaches into his cloak or his robes and pulls out a gemstone, an emerald that's about the size of a $50, and he holds it up. This is what I keep on me, of course, but I've collected several of these as well as some currency, and don't worry, I have made sure that whoever comes here to aid us would be well compensated. And he says it, and you get the sense he's being honest.
Right. Did you notice Shadow question in chat?
No, it's on the wrong page.
That would be directed to him.
Oh, this is asked directly to Father Hollow.
There's a reason behind it.
Okay. And he kind of crosses one arm and strokes his beard and says, "I do believe actually that last I heard, and who knows, because these things have a tendency of disappearing. But I do believe if you go down that way, as just mentioned, you might find the most two recent corpses. They should still be there. It was only yesterday."
She would respond with a nod, basically saying thank you.
He nods back. Is there anything else that I can do to assist or aid you? And he kind of looks at the whole group.
Advice?
You've been very helpful, Father.
He nods to Zarlas and then looks to Emmeraine. Advice. Well, as I said, find whatever object is tethering this thing to our wood, if it even is there, before you engage it. Otherwise, it'd be fruitless. He looks around though. Now, real quick, based on your guys' gear, because I haven't really dived into all your guys' gear, does anyone here, would anyone's gear show like a lantern of any kind strapped to their gear? Any sort of like lighting source?
Yes.
Okay. So yes to Zarlis, no to Emmeraine. Anybody else?
Also yes.
Yes. Okay. Vashti, Charandria, would you guys have any sort of lantern or light attached to your like accoutrement?
I breathe lightning. That's about all you're gonna get out of me.
Okay.
I have a wand of fire, wand of flame, but that's about it.
Okay. I'd say then, based on that, he looks at Vashti and he kind of squints a little bit and says, "I do think you might need this." And he reaches under his cloak again, and this time he pulls out this, I don't have an item card for it, unfortunately, but he pulls out what looks to be a lantern, but instead of it having those like cup or like those like oh gosh, what is the word? Dome like shapes around the side of it to project light out, they're shaded right now. There's some sort of metal cap on all four sides that's blocking it, but it looks like a lantern. And he goes and says, "You might need this," and he hands it towards Vashti.
A lantern?
This is not an ordinary lantern, my dear. This lantern is imbued with magical properties where it's not lit by a flame. There is a source of energy inside that is projecting a magical light all the way around it. When you remove those caps, it will project the light as a normal lantern would, but it doesn't burn out. It can't be snuffed out, and it's not something that, something that's not afraid of fire or whatever would react to. It is a different kind of light.
I carefully face one side of the lantern away from me and open it just a crack.
And as you do, a soft blue light is projecting out of it. It's not blinding. It's not like it's Cyclops from X-Men where it just starts to go, psh, it doesn't do that. It just basically, it's this soft blue light that just slips out through the crack that you're creating from it, and it illuminates the area around you, and it does provide pretty clear vision as a torch or a lantern would. It's a soft flickering blue light.
She carefully slides one of the slots all the way open, and she just looks at it, and she's like, blue, like me, pretty.
He smirks a bit. Says, that's very true, my dear. So real quick, Sparrow, if you look in your inventory, I just added a Lantern of Revealing to you real quick. It's not actually a Lantern of Revealing, but it will, for the sake of this, it'll work. But don't read the description there. It's as I described it.
So I have no idea why it
Can I
doesn't
find
show. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Where's my inventory at?
So on your character sheet, if you, on the little tabs on the right, it looks like a little backpack. It's the second one down.
Tabs on the right.
Yeah, unfortunately, the inventory online does not go through because I knew that I had one, and when I'm looking at my printed out one, it shows one lantern hooded.
Okay.
But that does not show.
That's fine.
At all.
I'll give it to you real quick. Yeah, that's fine. I remember seeing it on your sheet, so I know you have one. So give me 1 second. Hooded lantern. There you go. If anybody else is missing items from D&D Beyond, let me know and I'll add them to you guys.
Do I need the oil?
No, you're fine.
That I also have on my inventory?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I can give it to you, but you don't need it. Like, that's for like survival of like, do you have a lantern? Do you have oil? No, you don't have oil. Your lantern's useless. I'm not going to do that to you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I have a lantern because I didn't even think about that much.
Well, if you didn't think of, I will say this: if Emmeraine wouldn't have, I'm sorry, Emmeraine, I had the character sheet pulled up. If Charandria wouldn't have already had one for whatever reason, then no. But if you're like, well, she would have, I just forgot to grab it, then that's fine. I can get it to you.
Either way is fine. I'm gonna stay with the crowd. So.
Okay. If
I
you're
essentially made sure that as a thief, and a rogue, I was going to have something.
Yeah, I'm
like
sticking with the thief because my past experience knows that they can't be trusted, but they have a lot of crap on them.
Would she have carried a lantern or a torch?
For an elf, probably a torch.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Because they are different.
Yeah, and she's very natural and modern and kind of down to earth. So she would go for more natural options.
Okay. That is now fixed. So as he hands this to you, he sees the light. He smirks at Vashti's comment. He goes, well, best of luck to all of you, and I'll be praying for you. And he kind of waves his hand over all of you and kind of nods a little bit and softly starts to turn to head back towards the temple. Do you guys start to head down the road, or do you do anything else?
I'm going to start heading in the direction that he pointed, but I'm going to do it very slowly and cautiously while I'm looking around. My hand's still on my dagger.
Okay.
Ovidia is going to as well, and she's specifically looking for the two bodies.
Okay, sounds good. So you're looking out for the bodies. Chandra is at the ready. Anybody else doing anything?
I'm heading that way.
All right, so Zarlas is headed that way. Emmeraine, what are you doing?
I'm following.
Okay, Vashti, are you doing the same?
I'm following. At some point, can I call out my familiar?
Yeah, if you'd like to.
Okay. In this case, since we're actually like starting out and stuff like that, and I'm even though I'm very well traveled, I'm feeling just a little bit nervous, so I stick a couple of claws in my mouth and I blast kind of like what sounds like a Morse code, a very brief Morse code whistle. It's very shrill. And then like almost as soon as I finish, there's like a fluttering of wings, and I don't have a name for him yet. He only just joined me on my journeys a year ago. I just call him Bird right now. And this big huge corvid, this big huge raven comes and lands on my arm. And I greet him. I say, and I'm like, where have you been, Bird? You look very well, very fat. Who's been hosting you? And I just kind of laugh and carry him along.
That's awesome. So yeah, you guys see this big raven. Oops, hold on. No, you don't see that raven. I don't know why. It was supposed to bring it in invisible, but because I'm gonna do a thing. But you guys see this big raven come in and land on her shoulder. And okay, so you guys start making your way, out of town towards the wood.
Wow.
Okay, real quick.
Wow.
Sorry, real quick. For you spellcasters, can you guys just double check that you guys have your spells that you would have prepared before you guys started session? Make sure you have them prepared. If you guys are not familiar with what that means or how to do that, for spellcasters, you have a bunch of spells in your book, but you can only have certain ones prepared. If you want to make sure that's prepared for you to be able to use, there's a little symbol on the right side that looks like a little star-like icon, like a star, more like a stamp. It's between the little boxes and like your roll check. Just click that from unprepared to prepare. I'll let you guys do it now. Make sure you guys are doing the appropriate amount. I forget how many you can have prepared. Actually, I don't
Where's he?
So if you're a spellcaster, on your spell sheet, which is your fourth tab down, looks like a little tome or a little book, you have all of your different leveled spells, cantrips, first level, second level, and so on. You need to make sure that whatever spells you know how to do, you have to prepare them, which normally you do at the start of a session or every long rest, like when your person wakes up. But just go ahead and toggle a little unprepared to just click it to prepare it. That way you'll make sure that it'll work when we get if we get into combat. Because otherwise I would hate for you guys to go to trigger a spell and it doesn't work. So
Mine are always prepared.
yeah.
But how many can we have?
Hold on, I actually forget.
I think it's different for each class,
Yeah.
and if you're multi-classing.
What are you trying to find, baby?
Trying to find my spell.
So on your character sheet, it's your fourth tab down.
Yeah, I clicked the tab, but there's a long list of stuff in there.
Yep, that's all your spells that you can cast.
So you have a lot of spells, and you just need to go through these.
So do I go through each and every one of them, or is there a way to do all of them?
No, you can't do all of them. That's what you
I'm
found.
checking real quick.
So you need to kind of look and see what would. Oh boy.
It depends on their level and their wisdom score. So the number of spell slots a druid has. This is for druid because I was starting with Vashti. The number of spell slots a druid has determines the level of spells they can prepare. For example, a third level druid has 4 first level and 2 first. So,
Okay, that's good too. And there's a long list here.
Well, you're.
Hang on, let me. This is part of why, like, I'm still learning how to play this game, so I'm still learning. The rules.
Yeah, let me look at hers. Really, you're going to look at Flame Strike. Is one that you would probably want. What does Hollow do?
I don't know. That list is
Well,
long.
that's what I'm trying to see. I'm waiting for it to pop up. Definitely going to say that Hollow Legacy with a 60-foot sphere is definitely something. But it's not going through and giving me anything.
1 second.
Yeah, things aren't popping up very quick, and I don't know if it's my computer or.
I don't
Number
know.
of spells a character is capable of preparing is determined by 2 factors: the character's level and their spellcasting abilities. For example, level 5 druid wisdom ability of 18 prevents us to 9 preparing. Doesn't quite. I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
That's one that I would go through and have prepared.
Okay. And where do you?
Because again, what we're looking at
Oh, I
is.
see at the top. Okay, at the top of your spellcasting, you see a little box that says, so it says Druid spellcasting for you, Vashti, and in there you can see that 0-15. You can prepare 15 spells.
Where are you seeing that?
So on your character sheet, on your spell sheet, if you have spells and you are a spellcaster, at the very top it should say, so for you, sure, Andrea, it'll probably say, what's your class? Hold on, let me just see right here. I'll pull it up. So it says cleric spellcasting at the very top. It says
14.
Yeah, so you can prepare 14 spells total, and you have spell slots. You have 4 first level, you have 3 second level, and you have 3, and so on. And those little shields in the upper right-hand corner is how many you can cast from that bracket during a one long rest. But you can only prepare a grand total of 14 spells from the total list.
Gotcha.
If they're already marked as prepared, that means they're always prepared, which means you don't have to worry about those.
And so all you got to do is mark the
little thing looks like a sun. Just click that.
Yeah.
So I
the
need to
far
select
right.
15 of them.
Oh,
You need to pick
okay.
15. Yeah.
Like
So,
That's a setting.
Because these right here, I think, are the ones that are already marked.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, that's what you need to do, baby.
Okay.
yeah, same thing with anyone who else is spell casting. At the very top of your sheet, it'll tell you how many spells you can prepare. And just go ahead and start toggling as we're going here. Don't stress it too much, but just make sure you guys are doing that, because I forgot, as spellcasters you have to prepare spells. It's a whole thing.
Okay. Now, will it tell me when I reach my max?
I mean, that number at
No.
the top should fill up, because like Vashti's already at 2 and you're already at
Yeah.
1. So
Yeah.
like once
You have
you're
to go back
done,
and
it'll
forth.
tell you you can't prepare anymore.
But keep a running toggle.
Because I'm counting these too.
No, those don't count.
Those don't count? Okay, so 14 on top of those.
14. So you went through and pushed one already. Oh, I did for you.
Yeah.
So you want to go through. And I would also do like blindness.
Okay, definitely.
Here, I'm gonna go ahead and keep us moving while you guys are doing that.
You keep moving.
Yep. So, anyways, as you guys are wandering out away from the village, and the village starts to fade behind you, Ovidia, I'm going to assume that you and Zarlis are kind of near the front, because you're specifically looking for those corpses, and Zarlis is kind of already headed that way. So as you guys are wandering out, and you guys see this raven swoop in and land on Vashti's shoulder, the town starts to fade behind you ever so softly and slowly, and the excuse me. The wood starts to feel like it creeps in around you. It starts to feel thicker and denser as you venture into and away from the town, and the supposed safety of that village fades away as you venture into the wood. And now we're gonna actually do
Before you get too far, boss, rapier is now gripped by my right hand. Dagger is in my left.
Okay.
And I am using, if you want me to I'm following, using my survival skill to check following tracks and or guiding the group through areas, predicting weather and or avoiding quicksand or natural hazards.
Okay.
If you want me to roll for that, I will.
If you for the investigation, you said?
No, this is just one of my. It's a wisdom roll for survival, and based on rogue and everything else, it's what I use as I'm going through in unknown areas like we are at now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Helps me to hunt and track, identifying signs that would go through and be dangerous to us.
Gotcha. Okay. Why is this? I'm trying to fix your token real quick. It's not working.
You're fine.
There we go. Okay. I think I got it. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, that's good. So you're keeping an eye out, and just is anybody else doing anything as you guys venture into the wood?
No, just keeping an eye out for the 2 corpses.
Okay.
And I
I'll
walk
be in the back.
looking around for protection.
Okay.
You doing your stuff?
Yeah.
I'll be in the back, just listening.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. And this is gonna be the first time we've done this, so bear with me as we move over here. But as you guys venture into the wood, we're gonna actually move over to.
Ooh.
Welcome. So you guys are now entering the edge of the Dreadthorn Forest, or at least some of you are making it to the screen. I think the rest of you are still loading, so give it a second.
Yep, there we go.
I'm loading, but
Yep.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm loading too.
Yep, just give it a second. It'll load everything.
Look at you.
Oh shoot! I think I just broke everything. Please hold.
Holding.
Please.
Yeah, hold please.
Your call is very important to us.
If your call wasn't important to us, you'd be hearing someone talking to you right now.
All right, so I wanted to.
Can't get the page to scroll down there.
Well, here, let me. That should move you guys to where you guys can see your tokens.
I can see tokens.
Perfect.
Move my screen down.
Trying to do this so that I can see.
Oh,
I don't know why it's so dark for them, though. Oh, we'll do it this way, actually. We'll do it, That's frustrating. Sorry.
You're fine. I just can't help but look at my token and go, gosh, that looks like Strider. So unsettling.
I love when technology just gives me a headache.
I'm 5'4" and a little scrawny.
Like for some reason the stream is can't see anything and I don't know why. That's really frustrating. I'm really sorry guys. This is what happens when I'm new to something. So okay, you guys can see, right? Like you guys are able to see the board and everything?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Yes.
I can see the 5 of us.
Yeah, okay, good. So you can, all right. And you can see the little tokens and stuff?
I can see tokens, so I can't see. I mean, I can see like what looks as though, I'm not sure if that's a map below us or what behind us.
Yeah.
There's some leaves, but that's about it.
Basically, yeah, you're looking top down on yourselves, and you're standing in on a road. Basically, that's correct. For some reason, stream can't see it, and I don't know why. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to fix this either.
Like Strider.
yeah. I like that one.
Let's do this.
Well, I'm tougher than I believe.
Can I ask you a question while you're doing that?
Yes.
Mass healing word. Does that mean I could heal everybody in the group? Is that what that mass means?
It means you can heal people within a certain radius or a certain number total. It should tell you in the description of the spell. If you click it, or if you hover over it, I should say, it should tell you It'll should give you the description of it.
Oh, okay, cool. There we go.
All right. Oh my gosh, this is so aggravating. None of these settings are working. Okay, it's I don't understand why this isn't working.
I can now see all my tokens if I go through and run over them and see they're all on hot bomb.
Alright, well, I don't even have a solution for this. Let me try this.
What's it supposed to be doing?
It's supposed to be visible. To the recording of it. That's the problem I'm running into right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know why is the problem. There's no reason for it to be doing that. I'm trying really hard to fix it, I promise.
Hey, I'm a child of the 80s, brother. I'm just impressed with all the tech we've got going on. Beyond the fact that we're all in different places playing the game.
Yeah. I assume you guys can also hear the sound effects, right?
No, because I don't have that running. Because it's through my phone and I can't
No, I meant
adjust.
in game. I meant in game. If you have your token clicked, you should be able to hear sounds.
No? Is that something I'm supposed to be doing in Foundry to make that work? Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Yes, I can.
Nice.
Unfortunately, with the phone, that makes it really bad.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, if you want, you can turn your computer down and stuff. I mean, most of us are used to working with headphones, so I apologize for that.
No, that's my fault. We don't have headphones.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, I don't even have a solution for this, unfortunately.
You can go get some if you want. We'll have to set up Bluetooth. They're Bluetooth ones though, they're not plug-in ones. They have stuff that way. I didn't even think about it.
This is something that we can work on, baby.
Yeah, we can do headphones or earbuds later. I didn't even think about it, but I have some that are Bluetooth. We would just need to hook them up. They're not
Gotcha.
plug-ins.
Okay.
But we can do that for next time.
All right. Yeah. Well, and honestly, I feel bad because like I've been streaming this for a while and people have been watching and paying attention. I'm trying to record it and they can't see anything and I don't even know how to fix that. So it's like they just can't see the board. It's really weird.
Again, this is not far off of what I used to do.
This is kind of like the trial and error session, right?
It really is. I wasn't expecting it to be as much, but it really is, yeah.
That's okay. We're happy to help. That just means we get to do this again.
We might have to. I really don't want to, but we might have to. Either way, I'm just trying to figure out a simple solution so that I can at least, like, keep going. Because I feel bad just sitting here, but it's like I can't even get this to work, which is so weird.
Theater of the mind, Evan.
Right?
I'm telling you, my old DM used to go through and just tell it what we were
Yeah.
seeing.
I'm definitely used to theater of the mind.
Well, I decided to sit on the ground and meditate.
Okay. This is ridiculous.
Bethany sits down next to me and learns about meditation.
Don't tell her what she's doing.
Invite her to come over and meditate with me.
See, there you go.
Wait a minute, I think I fixed it. I fixed it.
Yay!
Yep, okay, I fixed it. Okay, cool, we're good. So, real quick, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, thank God. All right. So, Vashti, you have a lantern. Are you activating your lantern, Vashti, or are you leaving it tucked away? Vashti?
I think she.
Hold up. I was muted. Flashbacks to school. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I had one of the thingamabobs pulled back, so that way light was shining out.
Okay. Actually,
Now I force him using my hooded lantern. Ooh, I see.
all right. So
I
yeah.
see
So you've got that, and then you said you have a hooded lantern.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Oh, I like it.
Okay. So you guys have light now. Does anyone else have any sort of light that they want to dispense?
I have a light attached to my jacket. It's not a huge lantern, but it's a small one.
You have a lantern, you said?
Yeah.
Just a regular hooded lantern?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all going to kind of stack a little bit, so. Okay. All right. So.
Ian, real quick.
Yes, what's up?
Do I have to technically summon my dragon?
You already had your dragon out, so you're good. Yeah, your dragon was already out when you approached. Vashti actually.
I didn't know if to get do they do a token if they're summoned? Technically.
I didn't make one, but hold on, but I can get one. So hold on a second.
Because it tells me I could do it, but I'm like, technically the way that you could do it is either get a dragon egg, summon it spiritually, and obviously her backstory is dragon egg.
Yep, I can do that. Okay, so the way this, while I'm searching this real quick, the way that you guys are going to be able to do this, you guys are going to be free to kind of move around at your, like, how you think your character would. In order to do that, you need to either use WASD as up, down, left, right, or your arrow keys up, down, left, right, and you can move, those are 5-foot spaces. So each one of those tiles is 5 feet, as normal movement would be. And then if you, like, see something on the map that you want to, like, try to interact with, you can try to double click it. If you guys want to stop and ask a question. Don't go off the map. Stay on the map.
So which way is are we going in?
So, real quick, I'm gonna bring out. That's
Oh, God.
obviously very big. So give me a second.
Ooh, the dragon.
That's a very big dragon.
Yes, it's a very big dragon. So there's your dragon. I'll have to move it because it's not technically a tile. It's a token, not a tile. I mean, or tile and token.
If it makes it easier until combat, you can hide him.
And then this.
I was worried
this
for the
is-
combat.
Yeah, and then here's your raven. So I'll handle them, but just letting you know that they're there. Okay, so you guys are headed. Oops, that's the wrong one. You guys are headed that way. Is how you guys were coming into the wood. And so as you guys are approaching into the wood, you guys realize that beneath you, you start to notice something underneath you.
Hoof marks.
Mm-hmm.
Would we be able to tell their hoof marks, or would we have to, take a really good look at them?
No, you'd 100% be able to tell that they're hoof marks. Actually, can you guys double click on that for me? Does it work? Does it let you double click on it?
No.
It does.
Well, that's dumb. Okay, well, it's supposed to. Hold on a second. All right, hang on one second. I'm going to move you guys real fast.
Nope.
Nope, hold on a second. All right, now try to walk through it for me. Like walk over it.
I tried to walk, but I got pulled back.
I know.
Sorry.
I went.
I didn't.
I just, I
Invisible force.
don't know why things aren't. It's just great that things aren't working. It's just wonderful. Anyways, you notice these hoof marks underneath you, and you can tell that they're hoof marks. They are very clearly hoof marks. They look like they are rather fresh, and around the edges of them, they have the appearance of being singed, like the when the blacksmith takes the fresh horseshoe and it's red hot and presses it into something, whether he's branding something or whatever, and it creates that singed effect and it leaves a little bit of a glow. That's exactly what this is. These look like they were hot hoof prints that are pressed down into the ground.
We're looking at riders in the sky.
I'm curious why they just disappear and then reappear.
It's because it's because you're walking away from them. Your line of sight is dissipating.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not turning.
So are they just a continuous trail of hoof marks?
There's a gap. If you look in the middle of the map, you actually have a gap.
They are, but in answer to your questions, they do appear as if they are continuing. How are you walking through that?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, never mind. They do really appear as if there's a trail of them that's wandering off. And as you get to that point right there, hold on, slow down. As you get to that point right there, you notice that there's a broken sign in the road indicating direction, obviously, and it's broken and on the ground. And you hear a raven that's not Vashti's.
Oh.
And as you look up to try to figure out where the raven is coming from, go ahead and everybody roll me a quick perception check.
Hey, DM.
Is
Disadvantage or advantage?
you would have disadvantage on this one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll move your guys' familiars as well.
A whopping 10.
All right. So, Avidia, you can't find the raven. You can't see it. Vashti can't see it. Emmeraine, that's with disadvantage?
Yeah.
Wow. So, I don't know how, but Emmeraine Vashti rolled 2 perception checks?
Oh, she rolled with disadvantage.
Oh, no, Vashti, you didn't need to roll with disadvantage. That was just Emmeraine, because Emmeraine is blind. She has a wrapping around her eyes. So whenever she has to roll a visual perception check, she rolls disadvantage.
Okay, then consider that first one
Yep.
17, the actual roll.
Much better. Okay, so yeah, so the 17, the 10, the 14, you guys, and the 17, you guys all basically notice up in the tree above you, there is a raven that is perched on a high branch, looking down at you, and it appears it's as if it's glowing. There's like this soft light emitting from it, this soft bluish glow light emitting from it. And it's just kind of sitting there, and it's just, and it's kind of looking at you, and it's kind of moving its head around. And it looks like a normal bird, but it's just kind of sitting there looking. But it's cawing at you, and it's looking at you, and it just seems like it's just oddly looking at you. Like it just feels like it feels like it's sentient, like it's not just a bird.
Is it breathing quickly or slowly? Does it look calm, or does it look like it's in panic or anxious for any reason?
No, it looks calm.
Is it looking around, or is it looking at one particular spot the most?
It's looking at you guys. It's moving its vision between all of you.
Can I intuit an animal, its intentions? I did the roll.
Well, my question is as a rogue, what like do you have experience? Because just because you did the roll is fine, but I'm asking, does Zarlas have experience in any kind of capacity dealing with animals?
Please hold.
And that's more a question for character, not necessarily for character sheet. Does Zarlas himself, like, was he born and raised around animals? Is he like familiar with them quite a bit?
You want background.
A little bit, but just more of like, explain to me how the rogue is able to try to intuit the animal's intentions, is what I'm asking.
Born on the streets, and that is, I mean, if we're dealing with like any other, like a horse, I would say no. But in the way of birds that he's going to be checking on, that would be something that would have a background on it. Especially a crow or a raven.
Okay. So I would say that Zarlas wouldn't be able to intuit what they're dealing with here.
Okay.
I would say that based on that, he would be struggling with that a little bit.
Okay.
However, the bird doesn't appear as a threat to you. The bird appears as if it's, it's more observing you and inquisitive. At this point, it flutters down, and it actually comes to rest on, I would say it actually comes to rest on top of Vashti's horn.
Nice.
At this point,
Oh, hello there. Can you say something to me? Over to my friend? Oh, just calling.
And you notice that they're talking to each other, back and forth. But then, actually, hold on, Zarlas, you're standing on top of her. Then it, as you say this, it looks down at you. Danger. I'm really bad at bird voices, so I apologize.
Do you need a bird voice?
I just meant like, danger. There we go, that's better.
Hey, Evan, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Out of my spells, where would I go to find a list of the spells that I picked and prepared without scrolling up and down this list?
Trying to see if there's a way to do that.
Sorry, I'm looking for a particular spell and I'm scrolling up and down. I cannot remember.
So since the bird is in danger, I'm looking to spot anything that would be obscured, whether they're orcs flying in ambush, thugs hiding in shadows.
Sorry, I'm multitasking here real quick.
Totally.
I think. One second, Cher. I think you can. I gotta do something here. I think.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
not
okay.
urgent.
What you can do is anything that you want on the left side of your sheet, you can drop favorites underneath your stat block. So you see your profile picture and everything. I just added one animal friendship legacy right there. You just drag and drop the spell into the favorites there, and they're off to the left. You can do it with anybody. Can do that. They can do it. You can do it with items. You can do it with spells. Whatever you want to do. You just grab the item and drag and drop it to the left on the side of your sheet.
That was a total mistake. Sorry.
It's okay.
He got a 14, whatever he was thinking.
Well, I was talking about it, and he didn't ask for a roll.
So
So
where's the favorites tab?
All right. I am sorry.
It's-
So Zarlas, what were you asking? What were you doing?
I was saying just the fact of whether or not you wanted to roll, because obviously with a bird saying danger, that's going to go through and kick in my senses to
Okay.
see anything around us.
All right. So you're taking a quick scan around you.
Yep.
Okay, I want you. You can either roll me an investigation if you're really wanting to look and investigate, or a perception if you're just trying to take a quick. I'm just trying to look around me and see what I can see.
I'll take that perception roll that I just took a 14.
Okay. There. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, whoa, that's weird. So I just saw what you did, Emmeraine, and I don't know how you did that.
You could check your language, and I had Draconic selected.
I'm just surprised because normally you can't. Oh, that's right, because you can speak Draconic. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and only I can see the translation, or anyone else who speaks Draconic can see it. So, excuse me. So yeah, you take a quick scan around you, the 14, and you don't see anything around you, but you just have that tinge on the back of your neck, like something's not right. Something's out there. You can't see it, can't hear it, can't smell it. You just feel a little on edge. Yeah. Now, careful when you guys type, it snaps everybody's camera right to the person who types. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's called. Yeah. So you can type your language, and I can read it, and nobody else in the chat can read it unless they can speak that.
Unless they can speak it.
Yeah.
Which is actually cool. I can see it.
So yeah. So you guys are standing there, and he says, "Danger!" And as you're looking around, and he sees that, the raven perks his head up and looks around and says, "Near." And you see him scanning the area around you. And it's about this time that you notice over to the side here that there's a damaged fence and a lantern that's flickering over near the tree. But at that exact moment, you start to hear the sound of a horse galloping near. And this sounds a little different from before. It's off in the distance.
Do I smell anything unusual in the air?
You smell the scent of cinder, ash, that burning smell you smelled before.
Okay.
I'd like to do an investigation since now it's getting weirder and my hairs on the back of my neck are raising.
Well, as you go, before you make that roll, as you bend down to start looking, sound of this ear-shattering horse whinny echoes through the forest, and it does not sound like a typical horse. It sounds like something else, something horrible, and it just rings through the woods, and it sounds like it's coming from behind you, like from where you just came. And as you all are looking, trying to figure out what you see, you see behind you the image of a large stallion standing wreathed in flame along both the hooves of the steed beneath him, dripping off of his horse and his cape. You just see flames just dripping almost like liquid, and Where his head should be, there isn't one, as you would probably imagine. Somebody already mentioned it earlier. And in his hand, he's holding a large flame-engulfed pumpkin. It is just roaring fire out of the inside of it. His stallion has a orange burning medallion on the shape on the front of his face that's just glowing a hot red or hot reddish orange, and the eyes of the horse as well feel like they are just on fire. And as you see this, you hear this just horrible laugh echo through the woods from him. The horse rears up, and it starts to charge you guys. Until right before it gets to you, it vanishes. Just into a puff of black smoke.
Guys?
And the raven, danger, and then flies off.
Christopher Walken, isn't it?
I was gonna say Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Good one too. Where's Johnny Depp?
There's literally a little bit of the show where he gets woken up out of his sleep and he just goes, danger, danger. So yeah, fitting. It's Sheldon.
Now, something that you would have noticed, that the puff of black smoke, the way that it dissipated, it looks like it hit something. It looks like as he was charging you, he dissipated, but almost as if like he ran into something is the best way to put it.
A video upon seeing this would kind of go to where the smoke dissipated, and she would try to see if she could figure out, kind of what he hit or what caused him to disappear.
Roll me an Arcana check.
I better be good at this as a cleric. I'll take it.
That's pretty good. You're able to deduce, based on the positioning, everything that you could see, that the radius of Vashti's blue light is almost exactly where the hoof prints stop.
Ooh. I love the lantern that the father gave you.
Does the lantern, does it have some sort of magic power?
Is that an above table question, or is that a question in character?
In character. I'm wondering if the lantern has some sort of magic power, and I maybe pose the question to the group if that's what we noticed.
I would say I don't need a perception check to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't need a perception check. As a reminder, real quick, Father Hollow did tell you that the light inside of it is magical properties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's at this point that the little raven that was on Vashti's horns reappears, and you notice that it's actually perched over on a dilapidated sign at the entrance to the wood. This way. And you see that there is a path that's leading into the woods that is overgrown with foliage and has the greenery is starting to take over what was left of maybe this path that's probably been there for a while. And you can tell that there is probably something beyond this point, but it's going to be dense forest from this point forward.
Just a moment. No, not so fast. Oh, why should we trust you?
I assume she's looking at the bird when she says this?
Yep.
Okay. So as you're asking this, just as for the record as well, now that you guys, it's lower and you guys can get a better look at it, this is what the bird looks like. That's perched up on the fence there. And you notice at this point, now that it's closer, that it has these strange runic symbols emitting a soft bluish glow from its chest area and from the sides of its wings. And that the color from its eyes, their eyes appear almost to glow. And it kind of hops and it kind of repositions itself to look directly at Vashti. And it stares right at you. And in your mind, Vashti, you hear, "Trust me, I'm not an enemy. I'm here to help as best I can." No one else
Only
hears
I
that.
can hear that?
Only you hear that inside your mind.
Is the bird affiliated with the lamp because of that blue glow?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is the bird affiliated with the lamp because of that blue glow?
If you want to roll an Arcana check, you can try to find out.
Sure.
As Ovidia goes to try to, as Ovidia reaches to try to poke the bird it kind of like takes a small like peck at you.
Okay, I'm rolling right now.
Oh snap! Nat 20. I think it was the first one of the game. Congratulations.
22. Woo!
So you're able to deduce by the color. You look at the color of the light emitting from the lamp that Vashti's holding and the light that's emitting from the runic symbols on this bird, and you do see that there's a very similar property there, and that whatever magic is emitting from these two from this object or from this entity seem to be somehow magically connected. Obviously, they're two separate things, and the bird doesn't appear as if it's tethered to the lantern, but it feels more as if whatever's giving the lantern this protective ability around you to keep the demon from attacking you probably is doing the same thing for this raven.
Okay. I move closer to the raven in an attempt to follow him then. For some reason, I'm trusting it.
Okay. So the raven sees you moving, and he looks, and the raven kind of hops and moves, and he sees that there's two individuals that have already kind of started walking to the wood, and he just starts. I gotta move you. Sorry. He starts.
Ovidia didn't start walking there. She just kind of jumped there when
okay, that's
the
fine.
bird tried to peck her.
That's fine. And so the bird basically starts to flutter off down the trail, and you lose sight of it, unfortunately, because the fog starts to get very thick in here. But you do see it fly off in the direction of out here. Now, I will say this, Emmeraine, your dragon, I'm sorry, what was his name? What was it again?
No, I can't say it, pronounce it. You messed me up with that one.
What was it? Was it not Drakir? What was
Dyrax.
it? Dyrax, that's right. Yeah, that's what it was. Right. Yeah. Dyrax, he goes to start to kind of move in this direction, and you realize he's probably too big for here. He's got his wings spread and everything. He'd have to get really small to try to like weasel his way through here. Vashti, your raven would have no problem though perching up on your shoulder as long as it stayed put.
Okay.
Dyrax, being the stubborn dragon he is, he's just gonna brute force his way through.
Okay, so
in typical dragon fashion, you know.
Then here's what we're gonna do. So I need what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a group stealth check. I need everybody to roll me a stealth check. Emmeraine, you're going to roll a separate stealth check with disadvantage for Dyrax. But before you roll that, I want to see how I can. So obviously he's gonna have a modifier. Let's do this. What's your? So your stealth is +9. I want you to take half of that. So +4, we'll round down. +4 will be Dyrax's modifier, but you're going to roll one for him at disadvantage.
I think I can. What is stealth under? What is that?
It's your stealth check.
Well, no, I was going to see if I could just do a 20 plus whatever his modifier.
Stealth is based off of Dex. So
Right,
if he already has his own multiplier, then give him his Dex modifier.
Alright, so I'll do his first.
We both got 18.
But I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2 and got 18? Dear Lord.
Alright, that's the back.
Hello. What do you think I am?
I'm aware, Rogue. I know.
And that's mine.
Okay. Even with, I will say this, even with the tightness of the space for Dyrax to wiggle through this, he tucks his wings in and he tucks him in nice and close, and he curls his tail up, and he kind of brings his body low to the ground, just kind of shuffles. Almost like an army crawl, but it doesn't look like an army crawl because he's a dragon. And he's able to kind of slink through the path that you guys are walking, and he doesn't make too much noise, despite the fact it looks like he should. Excuse me. So yeah, so you start making your way into the wood. And Zarlis, you notice that you see another, which is weird, but you notice another set of these hoof prints on the ground. Despite the fact that this area doesn't look like it would support a horse, but it almost looks like it does. And Ovidia, as you come to this crossroads here, those bodies you were searching for earlier, you almost step on them, and you realize you found those two individuals that Father Hollow had mentioned, and they look pretty bad. If you want to go into details, you can get down and investigate further if you'd like.
Yeah, so Ovidia, upon seeing the two bodies, is immediately going to crouch down, and she's going to start looking over the two corpses to look at injuries, cause of death, things like that.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a medicine check, please. And I don't know. Let me look at your character sheet real quick before I say this. Hold on. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that you were proficient in that before I told you. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a medicine check, please. That is a really good medicine check. So yeah, you're very quickly able to tell that these two individuals, first off, immediate notice, everybody notices, they're both missing their heads. They are headless. They've been completely decapitated from the neck up. And and then Ovidia, for you can tell upon further investigation that it is a clean cut. It is one swipe. It is not a hacksaw motion. It is not like it was ripped off by some beast. It is very clearly just whoosh, head gone. Their heads are not anywhere near them. They are laying in a pool of blackish, dry, like that syrupy blood that it's old, but it's not dry yet for some reason. They have the one on the right has a very large sword wound gash to his back, and the other has several on his arms. It looks as if, based on that roll, you're able to deduce that looks like the one on the left had held his arms up to try, mixture of protection and cowering, and had his arms slashed up pretty good from some sort of bladed weapon. And it looks like the other one was trying to run away and was cut down from the back, and then his head was taken. But they both look very, very brutalized.
Okay. Upon seeing that they have no heads, you would everyone, if they were close enough, would be able to hear Ovidia go, "Shit, there goes my plan." And she takes one of her fingers that's gloved, and just as she's thinking and kind of playing with it, she just dips it in the blood just to feel its consistency. Plays with it as she sits there and thinks of a new plan.
Yeah, and the consistency, like I said, it would be that syrupy, sticky, viscous, pool dried, almost in the process of drying out blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. I don't know why it didn't trigger properly, but Zarlis, hold on, back up. Zarlis was wandering around in the woods here, and as he wandered into the woods, you hear this whispering, this ethereal, creepy sound that's drifting from the woods. And as you venture in further, all of a sudden, this hand juts out of the brush and tries to grab you. Just comes straight out of the brush and tries to grab you. And unfortunately, now I need you guys to roll initiative. So to do that, what we're gonna do is I need to add you guys all to combat. So
going into that.
okay. So what we're gonna do is, if you guys are on your tabs up in the upper right-hand corner, you guys should see a little crossed swords icon. And inside that panel, you're going to see all of your characters. What I want you to do is I want you guys to click the little roll initiative icon on the right, and that will roll your guys' initiative for your character. These are good initiative rolls.
15.
Not to make you repeat yourself. Where'd you say it was?
Upper right-hand corner, sweetheart, there's a little crossed swords icon next to the chat bubble, and you're going to click into that, and then your character is listed right there. Just click the little dice icon next to them.
Normal.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Look at that. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, as you guys can see, the Raven is in the order as well. The Raven, upon seeing and hearing this, starts cawing and screeching loudly. Loudly. There we go. And it starts flapping its wings, and it lands on top of Vashti's horn and looks very mean. I don't have like battle music, which kind of is annoying because I didn't preload it.
It's so peaceful out here.
I know, right? Like you guys are in the middle of intense combat now, and I don't have my battle music. So, all right. So, first up in the turn order, Zarlis, you get to go first. So, when it comes to combat in VTTs, just like in regular games, you are limited by. You have 3 things you can do. You can move, you have bonus action, and you have an action. You get your movement speed is your walk speed on your character sheet, and then actions and bonus actions on your character sheet are broken down into 2 categories. You can clearly see what they are. So you're up first. What would you like to do? And mind you, you just barely dodged this thing trying to grab you. It is directly in front of you.
Right. Well, I don't have much of anything. I'm going to use my rapier and see what I can do with it.
You're going to try to take a swipe at it?
Yep.
Okay. So to do that, what you're going to do is in your inventory, you're going to click your rapier, and it's going to pop up in chat. This is one of the ways you can do it. So if you just click the item that's in your inventory, go ahead and click the... so first thing you're going to do is you're going to right-click the wraith that's in front of you, the ghost thing that's in front of you, and you're going to, on the right, you'll see a thing that looks like a bullseye. You're going to click that to target it. So it's going to target that enemy.
Hold on.
It should have little red icons around it, like indicating that you have it targeted.
So am I looking at the ping? I'm on the combat tracker, or do I need to be move that up?
On the battle map, you can see right in front of you is the thing that just popped out of the brush and tried to attack you.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get all my little greens that have popped.
Your what to pop? I'm sorry.
The windows that popped up on different things. So hold on. So am I looking at the wraith?
Yep. Yeah.
I've got 2 wraiths.
The one that's right. Well, the one that you want to attack. So if you're attacking with a sword, it'd be the one that's in front of you.
Okay.
So you're gonna right click it, and and then you'll see a little thing next to it that has a little like a bullseye.
I don't have a bullseye.
Oh, do you not? Okay, hold on.
I'm right.
Can you just all right? So with your guys, can you just click on him? I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how targeting works for players.
Oh, you're fine.
Hang on 1 second.
Now, what I did see is in my rapier, when I hit attack, it gives me the option of, on the combat tracker, let me get that back open. Right next to where it says Wraith, I've got a...
select him and then select him and hit the T button on your keyboard.
What?
Select the baddie that you want to attack and hit the T on your keyboard.
Okay.
And then you should see little red icons kind of blinking around him like you've targeted him.
Ah!
Now go ahead and hit the roll for attack button. So in the chat box, just hit the big attack button that's in the chat.
I think you can actually cheat on this. If you go on the combat tracker, on the right it shows pan to combatant.
Oh, that you can do that too.
Okay.
But that doesn't target him. You want to make sure you target him. So you did hit him. So you can go ahead and what kind of damage is that again? That's
Hold on.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm just looking real quick. I think it's slashing damage. 1 second. Pretty sure it's slashing damage. It might be piercing damage.
I thought rapiers were piercing
I think you're right.
because they don't technically have a blade to slash.
It's weird. It doesn't actually say. For me, anyways, which is weird. It normally says.
You don't need an advantage on the attack if at least 4. Oh. Never mind.
Why is it not telling me? Normally it tells me. Oh my gosh, stop. That's me. Sorry, ignore that. Yeah, it's piercing damage. Sorry, I don't know why it wasn't showing it for me. But yes, okay, so piercing damage. Okay. So now you can go ahead and roll damage. So just click the button that says damage next to it. Okay, so you got 7, but he only took 3 damage because he's resistant to piercing damage. So then you can go ahead and hit apply, and he took 3 damage. So that's your attack. That's your attack action. Now you get a bonus action and a movement. Yeah, basically, as he's figuring out what to do, Zarlas takes out his rapier and takes a strike at it. And you do see that it basically goes into the creature, and it feels like it's not hitting anything. And you feel it strike something in, like, at the very tip, and then you pull it out, and it doesn't really look like he's bleeding or anything.
So I disengage.
So if you can use your bonus action as a rogue to disengage, so you can move away from him, which voids his attack of opportunity. Okay, and you can move your full movement or as much movement as you want up to 30 feet, which is 6 squares.
Oh. I'm far enough away.
Okay, so that's your turn then. What we're going to do then is we're going to go ahead and move to... Oh, wait, what? Oh, whoops. There we go. Sorry, I forgot to start combat. I'm going to go ahead and move into the... yeah, so... next turn. So, all right, Emmeraine, you're up. So you're actually the next closest to it. You are within melee range, though.
Alright, so I'm in... so close to it. I know I'm not going to be useful with my bow.
I don't think you can attack with a bow at that range.
I think it's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have it pulled out yet because she ain't no reason for it right now. So, tapping into my Arcana, I'm going to cast Ray of Frost on it.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to select him, hit the T icon on your keyboard to target him, and then since you have Ray of Frost there, hit attack to roll attack on it. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but... I like the effects, huh? They're cool. Okay, and then roll damage. So you should be able to just hit the damage button. It should calculate it.
I'm trying to... 19 or 20 is crit.
Nat 20s are crit, but... Alright, so you rolled an 8. But as you can see, he's cold resistant, so he only took 4. So go ahead and hit apply, and you can apply that damage to him. Oh, it doesn't show. Sorry, it's just for me. My bad. I'm still learning what players can see versus what I can see. So you cast Ray of Frost, and this beam of ice shoots out of Embraine's hand, and it washes over the creature, and he kind of recoils, but then kind of comes back, and it looks like there's a little bit of like frost on its shoulder, and then it immediately just kind of and it falls through it. It falls to the ground. have your movement and your bonus action.
What can I do with the bonus action? I
Did we not include your familiar? Your familiar's just gonna have to go right after you because I don't.
can't. Yeah,
have him
he
in this
does.
order.
He automatically
Okay,
comes.
cool. That's what I thought.
He's immediately after me. I am going to try to maneuver myself away from. I'll take the attack of opportunity on myself and back up.
Okay, so attack of opportunity. Give me 1 second here. I gotta do this. So before you move, come back one because you can't leave until you actually, get attacked at. Okay. So it's just going to start with a very simple, I say very simple. It's just going to take a swipe at you, basically. But it's going to take 2 swipes at you. It looks like. So the first one hits.
You need to go on spells.
And
Yeah.
the second one.
I was looking for
plus
my dagger.
13. Why is it a plus 13?
You just watch and you go through and
Oh,
hear
that got broken.
what your dagger's going to do, and it did nothing.
I
It's supposed to
know.
be
I
a
was.
plus 3. Hold on.
We dragged him over. Well, thought I didn't work. I don't know. I had that
Oh, I
before.
think I broke something on that. It's supposed to be a plus 7 to hit, and somehow it's plus 13. I don't know how that happened. Hold on. Let me fix that.
Cheating.
Oh, cheater.
I know, right?
This is very reminiscent of one of my early DMs. Oh, sorry. Yes, you all died.
Except
Cool.
for you, because you got me life.
Yeah, but the next time you tried that, we were playing a Star Wars game, and basically it was going bad, and we pulled a thermonuclear grenade and blew everything up, and he had spent like a month getting everything done, and yeah, can't use that anymore. He was not happy.
That's what I get for homebrew stuff. All right, so we're gonna ignore these. I'm just gonna manually roll because that's not cool. So it is. It's plus 7. So we're gonna do. There we go. Let's do it manually. Great. So
I will
that
tell you one thing, Evan. I looked on my sheet, which I'm glad I have the sheets. My hit dice are supposed to be 10 DB8s.
Hit dice is to get it's just to regain your hit points, which that's
Oh,
for,
okay,
that's
never mind.
that's for like that's something else entirely.
Oh, never mind.
Yep. Okay. So does the 22 or a 16 hit?
22 hits, 16 misses.
Okay. So he one swipe, and the second one completely swipes over you, but the second one does make contact. Damage is set up correctly, so.
That sucks.
So yeah, so it gets a good chunk as you're running away. Oh, you know what? No. I'm sorry. No, that's not how that works. I'm sorry. I'm still learning things because I'm great at this game. The first one, I only get to take 1 attack on you, not 2, because it's an attack of opportunity. I don't get to actually take a full-on action. I only get to make 1 attack on you. That's my bad. So it misses you is what happens. Ignore all of that, and you get to run away because I'm great at this game. It's fine. Yeah. So you move away. You run.
Yay, Ember.
How far did it? How many? Is it 5? You said?
Well, you have a movement speed of 30, which is 6 squares.
Oh, 6 squares.
Yeah. Each square is 5 feet.
Go here.
Okay. Now you have your action. No, sorry, your bonus action.
I'm going to Bonus action could be pulling out my bow, right?
Yeah, you can use that as a bonus action.
I don't know why I'm pulling it out, but we're going to.
Okay, so make sure that's equipped. And yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to Vashti's turn. So Vashti, you're up.
Ignore that. There we go.
All right, sorry, I was briefly AFK. I'm gonna do probably just my breath weapon. Let me get closer.
1, 2, so hold on, wait a minute. You moved 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can only move. This is your move, so you've already moved 20 of your 30 feet.
Oh, right.
And which weapon are you using?
That's fine because breath weapon. I exhale lightning in a 5 by 30 foot line.
Okay.
I'm getting closer so I can do the maximum damage.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, the range on that's 30 feet. So.
Yeah, but she figures that if she gets closer, it might do even more damage.
Yeah, it could. I mean, if she wants to think that, that's totally fine. Yeah. So, so the way that you're gonna do this, because this is a. So this is just a 5 by 30 foot line. Okay. So basically, what you're gonna want to do is, in your options on the left-hand side, you should see a little measuring stick. Looks like a little ruler. See it? Left side of your screen. You don't see like you don't see a little thing that looks like a little ruler. It's beneath the one that looks like a bullseye.
No. Hold up. Bullseye?
On the very left side of your screen, you should see you have like you should have a selected object that looks like a little person, and then to the right of that you'll have a second line of. You see that looks like a little measuring stick.
Left side. I'm a dumb dumb. Hold on. Okay, I see the measuring.
Okay, click on that, and you're gonna drag a line from Vashti, and you're gonna drag it to the Wraith.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. So that way you can see that. I mean, the reason I'm telling you this is so you know how it works, but you can see that you're in range. So now what you can do is go ahead and select the Wraith, and click T or hit T on your keyboard.
That's
the Wraith.
That was what I was going to head towards, and then he was like, "Ooh, Wraith came to get you."
So where is the Wraith?
Right here.
There's a Wraith down.
So go ahead and just click. So sweetheart, just go ahead and click on the back.
One.
And then hit T on your keyboard.
Can't see them.
Get it.
Okay, now in your inventory, you're gonna go ahead and click under special features where your weapon is. You're gonna go ahead and just click the item, the breath weapon. I have 2 of them. That's weird. And then, so what you're gonna do is the object needs to survive a DC 14 dexterity saving throw. So go ahead and click the button that says DC 14 dexterity saving throw.
Hang on, it's not. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm moving around in a green box. I don't know
I mean,
what it is.
as long as you have him selected. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're still drawing, so you need to change your. So real quick, click the center of that. It looks like a little box. You can delete it by just clicking it and hitting backspace.
Do I not have?
Hang on.
Anything moving?
You were still in measuring mode, so what you can do is
It's down. Not good. Oh, coming back. There we go.
Alright, I'll have to clear it out. Okay. Yeah, so now you can go ahead and use your. What you want to do is when you're selecting things, just go up to that little selection box so you don't accidentally drop one.
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to figure out why it's still showing a measuring tool for her because it should be gone. Okay, so yeah, so
I
go
hit
ahead.
T. I've been hitting T and it's not doing anything.
No.
And therein lies.
He's already targeted. As long as he's got the little red things around him, he's targeted. Over in the chat, you should see a little box that says DC 14 Dexterity Saving Throw. You want to click that underneath your breath weapon.
Normal.
Yes, normal. Oh wait, why is it having you roll? That's weird. Hold on, I'm supposed to do that. I don't know why it's having.
Yeah, you said that because I got a 15.
Well, no, it should have prompted it for me. Okay, so he does succeed on the DC for that, which means he's going to take, I believe, half damage. Yes. So go ahead and roll, hit the damage button. Actually, on this, is this thing a... Okay, so you just did a straight line. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you hit him, and basically this blue lightning just erupts from Vashti's mouth and just beams through the underbrush here and strikes the creature. And the creature does recoil a bit, reacting to it. It did obviously, do some damage, but then it, it starts to kind of even itself out a bit, and the brush behind it is all singed from the bluish electrical magic that flew out of Vashti's mouth. So, Vashti, you still have another 10 feet of movement you can do. You also have a bonus action you can do. As far as bonus actions are concerned, I'm looking at your sheet. I don't think you have a lot that you can do. I can't remember. I know that casting some spells counts as a bonus action. Just depends, I think.
There are some that do.
Yeah. I don't see any that are popping out of my... Oh, you can do Wild Shape as a bonus action. But I think that's it. Otherwise, you can move another 10 feet, and then you can end your turn.
I clicked Wild Shape, and I'm not seeing anything happen.
But nothing happens. It's, if you want to use it, you can cast it and you can transform into something.
Oh, I just did.
So you want to cast Wild Shape?
Yeah.
Okay. What do
I
you
just used one up, so I might as well do it.
Okay. What are you transforming into?
Good question. I hadn't thought that through.
Because when you Wild Shape and you move into something else, you're limited by the creature that you're turning into. So if you read over there on the right, Wild Shape, those are the rules around it.
Oh yeah, I see it. Please hold.
Holding.
Thank you for your patience.
On in, but the DM decide. Practical for the new form to wear.
Actually, never mind. I won't use that. If I can't go back on it, I won't use that, and I'll just move away 5 or 10 feet, however many.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to move back 10 feet, you can. So you can just move yourself back 2 squares.
I'm trying. By the way, the target tool is still on him, and I
So
don't know how to...
So what you can do is if you select him again and hit T, you should untarget him.
Okay, just did. The green box is still there around everybody, and I can't move.
Yeah, just select your token, click yourself again, and then you can, with arrow keys, you can move yourself.
Okay.
Yeah,
there we
so
go.
you can only move 2, so that's the end of your turn there. All right, so Sharandria, it's your turn.
Okay. I have a question too. I can't find my daggers. Did you see that I have daggers anywhere? I'm wondering if maybe I thought I dragged them, I didn't.
Let's see here. You did not, but I know you were mentioning it, so...
I had 4 different kinds.
You have 4 different kinds?
I had like 3 or 4 different kinds. It was like the first one, then I think it was like the 4th and 5th one. They were unusual shapes.
Let me see if they're on your sheet on the website, and I can look at them. What we'll probably end up doing, just due to the way all of this stuff played out tonight, I was just talking back and forth with Shadow in the group chat there. I know this was supposed to be a single one session, but it's already 10:30, and we've made almost, like, we've just been moving very slow. That's partially due to my lack of having everything set up like I thought, and people learning new stuff and whatnot. So we're probably going to have to end much, like, without us actually finishing, which makes me so upset. But not right this second. I want to finish at least one round of combat for everybody, and then we'll probably have to wrap it up, which I'm sorry, which is not my plan.
That's fine. I wanted to see if you saw them on your end or if it was something I did wrong when I thought I dragged them and maybe didn't. But I'm actually going to use a spell for this one.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and use a spell, go ahead and do the same thing. Target the baddie and select your spell. I'm going to go ahead and give you those items because, yeah, I don't see them, but I know that you have them, so I don't know what happened there. I don't even see them on your end, though. What kind was it just daggers, or was it like...
There are 3 different kinds of daggers, and then I got 2 different kinds of bows with the arrows. But I think I saw those in there. But I can go back and fix that later.
Yeah, I don't see them at all, so I don't think they got added correctly, but I can do this at least.
It was probably operator error.
It's all good.
I'm going to use a guiding bolt, though. Isn't that like a lightning bolt that'll hit him?
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
And what's the difference between guiding bolt and guiding bolt legacy?
Use the legacy one. It's basically D&D changed their rules this year. They added like they created a whole new rule book, and so the new ones are the new system, and legacy is the 2014 D&D 5e stuff. So that's what we're using.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll use the guiding bolt legacy. Do I just double click on it?
So what you do is you click it once. Make sure you target the guy so he has the little red icons around him. Then you click it once so that it shows up in chat, and then it'll give you the option to like either roll for attack or DC saving throw or however it works.
Okay. And I can't see him, so I think he's below my screen, but I know I can't move my character, so I don't know how to get him.
Okay, no.
Wait.
Right here. See this guy?
Yeah.
Click that.
That's him right there.
See where it says barely injured? So if you click that next to his name,
Okay.
that'll target him, and then you can go through and do it. You want to make sure that you're not going to go through and nail.
Well, it says guiding, so I'm guessing you can control where it goes.
I don't know.
I don't either, but that's what I'm guessing. Okay, so click on that. It says ping combat. So
No, not ping. Next to it. Where it says pan.
Pan to combat.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you need to select. So you make sure you click on him. Just click on him, and then hit T on your keyboard, and you'll see little arrows pop up around him.
Nope.
Hit the T on your keyboard, baby.
I just did. And I'm not seeing anything.
Please hold.
Is he targeted now?
See, I'm clicking that and then putting T and no arrows.
Right.
That's weird. Okay, now it worked. I guess it just needed you looking at it.
It needed me to come through and press the button.
So now, now you want to go ahead and select guiding bolt in your character sheet.
Okay, I clicked on it.
Did it bring up a box to like a prompt or anything on your screen?
Please hold.
It's thinking. I'm getting like this thing right here.
Oh, yeah, it's. She's getting a please hold.
That's weird.
The flip from Doom.
All right, let me try over here. So you want to try to do guiding bolt? You said.
Yeah, guiding bolt legacy.
Let me see, because I think I can do it from my end. Are you wanting to cast it at level 1, or 2, 3? Like what level you want to cast it at?
Ooh.
So if you cast a spell at higher, so it's normally a first level spell. If you cast it at higher levels, so like at second level or higher, the damage increases by 1d6 for each slot level. So like if you do second level, you get to roll 2d6 instead of 1d6.
So what can she cast it at? Because according to this, it doesn't give her that as an option.
Well, because she has higher level spells, you can because you're level 10, you can cast it up to. I think you can cast it up to 5th level if you want it, I guess.
Okay.
Let me double check that. Hang on.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, kill the stupid thing.
Yeah, we're gonna kill him. I'm gonna save the day.
Okay, so yeah,
Well,
the
we
highest
got-
that you can cast this is 5th level, and you have 2 spell slots at 5th level. But you have other spells at 5th level that you wouldn't be able to use if you use both slots. Basically, is how it works.
Okay. So we'll just use the one at 5.
Yeah, use the one. Again, there's another race.
Yeah.
So you just gotta let me know which spell slot you want to use.
The one?
The 5th level.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain's starting to fade.
It says it'll. Looks like it'll. Yeah. So. Okay.
No,
There,
anything
now it's in chat. So now it's in chat, so you can see it. So you can go ahead and roll. I'll let you roll the attack. So go ahead and click the attack button there in chat.
Do you have it in the chat, babe?
I'm not seeing it in the chat. The only thing I'm seeing is Vashti in the chat.
Oh.
Oh.
That's weird. Why is it showing? Okay, well that's.
I already got this.
Yes. So
Here,
go
cast
ahead and.
spell. Okay. Got a pop up, so I hit cast spell.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. You just have to make sure you select the level you want to cast it at. There you go. So you're casting. That one's casting at 1st level, which is fine, but it's just up to you which one you want to cast it at.
see the drop down?
Yeah. We'll do 5th level and try to kill this thing.
Okay, so go, yeah. So same thing, just go back and do that again, but just change it from 1st level to 5th level on the second box that prompts up, because it'll ask you what level to cast it at.
Okay, there we go.
Cool.
And I
So
hit
go, yep, go ahead and hit attack.
Okay. Boom.
There it goes.
Oh.
So,
2.
so you, well, actually, hold on.
That's not right.
Let me just double check. I'm just, because we're all learning. Just double check that I've got.
Bad dice.
Yeah. To get into the color. I'm not liking that number.
Because I thought spells just auto hit, or they don't.
With it being guided, you'd think it would.
Oh no!
But
It
with
actually,
the-
no, it actually does have to hit. Yeah, so you actually do have to roll to attack. So yeah, it misses. So you cast the bolt, and this purplish spell starts to light up in your hand and flies out, and it goes right into the brush and misses the wraith. So you still have your movement and a bonus action.
I think I'm just gonna move.
Just gonna move. Okay, so you can move, I believe, up to 30 feet. So no, 35. You have 35 feet, so you can move 7 spaces.
Okay, now I need to find my character.
Right there.
I can't see my character.
Right there. Just you have to click it.
Oh, there we go. Now I can.
Just one space.
Well, I hit it more than once.
No, then hold on, they'll
So
move.
if you're running into something and can't move, that means that there's something blocking you, because I actually have walls built on this map. So it could
Well,
be
it
that
may not be that. It could be that delay on it.
Yeah, there's a major delay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, I didn't mean to go that far. I meant to go right here.
Okay. Is that the end? Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now it's gonna be the Wraith's turn, and the Wraith is going to. Let's see. He is going to flutter out of the brush a bit. No, right there. Sorry. And he is going to... He is going to look at the closest creature to him, which is Ovidia. And he is going to cast, or he basically stares at you in the face, and it doesn't have a face. It basically has this long, like, robe-like look to it, and all you can see when it's staring at you is this blackness where its face is, and its eyes are just this beaming red color that are just, basically, as it looks at you, tries to burrow into you, and it's going to cast Horrifying Gaze. And the way that this works is you need to survive a DC 14 Charisma saving. So in the chat there, or actually, let me do it this way, because I don't think you can see it. So what we're going to do is... Where's the requester? Where is it? There it is.
How do I make my screen bigger? I can't see anything.
You can zoom out with the scroll wheel if you want.
It's just showing you, babe.
No, it's not showing me anything else. Unless the whole was big, and I don't know why it's smaller now.
Let me add you. No, don't move her. There we go. Okay. There you go. So in the chat, Ovidia, you should be able to roll a charisma ability check with just basically all you have to do is click the D20 in chat. Okay. So you failed the check. So you are now considered frightened for the next... Oh, I'm sorry, not frightened. Stunned. So you will be... So what you can do is you can go to your character sheet and you can go to the effects tab, which is the lightning bolt, and you can apply the stunned. And then I also need to roll...
This is my screen.
And you take half of that because I rolled that well. So you take 14 psychic damage. So what you can do is you can do that yourself. Just manually go into your sheet and then click on your hit points and subtract 14. And then you can also if you're resistant to psychic damage, you can change that. So you guys all watch as this wraith stares at Ovidia, and its face just basically like looms back, and this strange presence is around it. And then you see Ovidia clutch her head with pain. And that's going to be its turn. All right, Ovidia, it is now your turn.
Can I even do anything as stunned?
Let me double check that. I think you can. Oh no, you're considering capacity. Wait, what? Oh, I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Yep. 1 second. So, what I'm going to say for this, based on the situation, since it's your turn, stuns apparently vary on how you were stunned. So, since this is more psychic, if you want to spend either your action or your bonus action to try to like steady yourself, if you want to go ahead and re-roll that charisma check, you can re-roll it to try to break the stun early. Since this is more like a fear-based. Technically, it's supposed to be frightened. I don't know why. I need to go back and fix this. It's supposed to be frightened, not stunned. But. Okay, so the stun doesn't break, But if you'd like, I will. You can basically. You could try to move at half speed. I'll let you. If you want to go ahead and move half movement speed to try to get away from it, you can. That's 1, 2, and I think you can move. What's your movement speed? Okay. Oh, it exhausts it. That's kind of cool. Okay. All right. So you can move there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move to. So the next 2 turns are actually the NPC and the baddies, but this went. It's been. I know that it's getting late and people have work tomorrow. I really don't want to push it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say we pause here, and we'll try to pick up when we can. Like I said, I feel kind of bad. I wasn't expecting this to go this long. I was expecting to actually be able to run an actual one shot. Clearly, I am incapable of running a one shot in one session. So we're gonna go ahead and pause it here, so that we don't go too late. And everyone has work tomorrow, so. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we will figure out how to pick this up again when we have the ability. Hopefully we'll move a little bit quicker next time now that I actually have things like fully set up and everything. I'm very sorry that I was not able to get it set up quicker, but
Hey.
No, you're good. It's the first time we're all using this tool, and
Yeah.
I think we would have been fine if we didn't have issues we needed to fix, but it's good that we actually fixed the issues, so now that we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and yeah, that's
Yeah,
the best way to
no,
put it, so.
good job, babe.
Thanks. So, anyways, appreciate it. So, thank you everybody for playing. We will figure out a way to pick this up maybe the next couple of days so that we can wrap it up. Because, quite honestly, we're about halfway through. Like, the adventure was not super long. It took a while to get to this point because of technical difficulties. So, anyways, thank you guys very much for playing. Thank you very much, people who decided to sit through and watch this. Appreciate it, and we will figure out the next one. So.